spend on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Padres, Red Sox, tomorrow.
Gonna go! Home run, Xander Bogaerts!
Pre-game, 10:10 a.m. First pitch, 11:10 a.m. The Padres play here on 97.3 The Fan.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here from Gwynn and Chris. Weekdays at 4:30, we go through the best of the rest in sports, and we call it the Big Five. Listen weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
Well, for today, it is not Braden Surprenant. It is Matt Skraby. I will be filling in for Braden today. I have Frank Marchese alongside with me. We will be talking a lot about the Padres today. We'll also have Braden's usual segments. We're going to be talking about the Red Sox a little bit later. So that's who the Padres are going to be starting with tomorrow on opening day. I got to say, Roundtable was really fun. I need an hour warm up before every show because now I feel ready to go. Driving down here, it was earlier than usual, obviously, and I was feeling like, man, I need to find some energy and find it quick, but I am ready to go. How are you, Frank?
I'm doing good, Skraby. Nice to be back in the seat with you.
Yes. I told Chris yesterday, actually, that one of the most famous things on 97.3 The Fan history happened on Frank on a Frank and Skraby show, and it was the sharing of beaver nuggets. I actually still have a package of beaver nuggets hidden away in here that has not been opened yet. So maybe one of these days when we do like an appearance or something or like a broadcast,
absolutely,
I'll bring down some beaver nuggets. If you don't know what beaver nuggets are, it's a gas station. What is it? Buc-ee's.
Yeah, Buc-ee's. Yep.
And it's all over like the Midwest and the South and everything, but they have these things called beaver nuggets. Anyway. All right. Let's start like this. We're 6 games in.
Yes.
We're 6 games in. As you heard on the round table, and I'm sure you heard on Bennett Woods, like we cannot be judging this team 6 games in. Do I love everything that I saw? No, I don't. Do I love the at-bats they're putting together? No. But I do think that they're going to figure it out. This is the first, 6 games of a manager who's never managed before. And as I said on the roundtable, he's going to be learning on the job. And we are going to have to deal with it because that is what is happening. And I think that Craig Stammen so far, he's been the opposite of Mike Schilt in the way of he's going to let you in on why he made the decision. And I do really like that about Craig Stammen, but you could also tell already he's kind of learning from things. And that's all we really need. We need him to just keep learning, keep making good decisions. And if he makes a bad decision, learn from that bad decision and we can move forward. I don't really think the manager is going to be the problem of this team. And ultimately in baseball, it's about your lineup. And it's about the guys in your lineup hitting. And the Padres, for whatever reason, I just feel like they are underutilizing their lineup. And they're not hitting for the power that they should. We could look at Petco Park and say, hey, Petco Park is one of the hardest places to hit. And that's true. It is one of the hardest places to hit. I actually went and looked at what Petco Park does in April. And I did a little bit of research. Historically, 5 to 8% lower than the league average runs scored in April. Home runs, they're in the bottom 5 in MLB for home run rate. Pitchers typically see an increase in movement on their breaking balls, and so it's harder on hitters because it's able to spin faster. I bring all that up to say they got to start hitting. And I can't blame it on the park anymore. The park it's a real factor. It's a real factor, but I cannot blame their lack of slug on Petco Park. And if we're going to break it down like this, I did Padres good, Padres middle, and Padres bad. And the good stuff is singular things, like Jackson Merrill's home run at bat. Talked about on the round table, 7-pitch at bat, ended up hit. It was a good at bat. He took the balls he needed to, took some close pitches, swung and fought off some strikes with 2 strikes. Then he hits a home run, 107.4 miles an hour off the bat. That is good. I need to see more of those from Jackson Merrill. I need to, because sometimes Jackson Merrill has those at bats, and sometimes it seems like he goes up there and like Ben said earlier on the round table, it's just 1, 2, 3, and he goes back and sits down. The other Padres good right now, Ramon Laureano cannot get a day off anytime soon. And sorry, Ramon, you're gonna have to play until you're not the best hitter on the team, because you are the best hitter on the team. You're crushing the baseball. You're the only one hitting for slug right now, so you cannot come out of the lineup. I still am a little perturbed that he was out of the lineup the other day, and they said that it was a scheduled day off. Now, I don't want to say he doesn't need a day off, but 5 games into the season, I don't know was the time to give him a scheduled day off. And would it have changed the way the game went? I don't know. But Ramon Laureano, you cannot get a day off right now. I'm sorry. Randy Vasquez, very good. He, on Saturday, went 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits, walked 3, struck out 8, and got the win, didn't give up any runs. So we know about Randy Vasquez. And if we're looking at the rotation, and Frank, you could weigh in on this with me. In order of not worried to very worried in the rotation, here's how I go. Vasquez, I'm a massive Randy Vasquez fan. Mm-hmm. So just know that. Vasquez, Pivetta, after his outing yesterday, showed me that he is still Nick Pivetta. Michael King did good enough stuff. So it's Vasquez, Pivetta, King, Buehler, Marquez. Would you agree? Would you move anybody around in that in order of not worried to very worried?
No, I wouldn't be worried. I wouldn't change that at all.
Okay. I don't know how many starts. How many starts would you give German Marquez? Because we're talking on the round table, we're all giving him one more start. And I think that's just the nature of a baseball fan. But I don't know how long of a leash they need to give German Marquez.
You're only about to give him one more start because you have Griffin Canning.
That's true.
Working down the minor leagues. Now, I believe it was Jeff Sanders. We talked about it yesterday. Sanders saying he was going to AA, that he was going to pitch in Tulsa. Then you had Griffin saying yesterday that he was going to be pitching in Tacoma with AAA. So I really think it depends on how he feels and how his foot feels coming out of that outing.
Yeah.
As to how many more times you see German Marquez. It very well might just be one more time you see him.
That is true. I really thought maybe they could find something with him, and maybe they still can. I'm not going to give up on him, but I don't know that you can keep running him out there if you have better options, like Frank said, in someone like Griffin Canning. So the rotation is good 1, 2, 3, and then a little bit iffy 4, 5. Now David Morgan also been great. He 5 innings, no runs, appeared in 4 games, struck out 4. He's walked a couple guys, gave up a couple hits, but David Morgan's been very good. So those are some of the good things that we've seen from the Padres. Padres middle. And I moved Gavin Sheets into the middle because he was in the bad section until the last couple games. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm saying this is because going into Tuesday night's game, I can speak, I promise, against Logan Webb, Gavin Sheets was 0 for 10, no walks, 5 Ks. Last 2 games, 3 hits, 2 doubles. But after yesterday, he did some good things. Back-to-back games with a hit. So something to build on. But I am not sure, Frank. I am not sure what Gavin Sheets or who Gavin Sheets is. We only saw him last year, and he was with the White Sox before that. And he wasn't putting up eye-popping numbers. He did some great things last year, and he earned the spot this year on the team. Are we putting too many eggs in the Gavin Sheet basket? And my answer is yes, I think so. I think we're relying on someone that we have no idea what he's going to do the rest of the season. And you can't do that.
Especially when you have guys like Nick Castellanos and Miguel Andujar who are here now to bear some of that load. True. As well as DHs or outfield replacements. Bryce Johnson looked good in the first at bat, and then the next two happened. But I mean, solid. You're going to get solid performances out of Gavin Sheets. He's going to be an average player. He's going to be a solid player in this lineup. But now you don't have to rely on him for the power, for the bat, for the DH every single week, every single day, the way you had to last year. So he's going to get more time off. It might be a more start-stop year for him because you do have those other options that are just as viable as he is.
Yep. I worry. I worry a little bit. Ben said it during the roundtable. Gavin Sheets, either if he gets on base, the rally keeps moving. But if he doesn't get on base, then the rally is dead right there with Gavin Sheets. I need to see some more from Gavin Sheets. And I know that he's not a guy who's just like going through the motions. He's definitely a guy who works at his craft and wants to be great.
For sure.
Padres bad. Some of the Craig Stammen decisions have been interesting. He'll learn from those, as we said. I'm not close to being ready to say he's not going to work out, as some of the other people out there are close to saying that he's not going to work out. I don't think a manager is as big of a deal as a head coach in other sports. So let's lay off of Craig Stammen for just a second. 6 games in. Padres bad, somewhat sloppy defense. Two nights ago, Jackson Merrill, Fernando, and right center. Also, I know we're running out of time. So on the other side, we're going to talk about the superstars not superstarring, which is going to be a huge problem this year if they do not superstar. I am Matt Skraby, filling in for Braden Surprenant. We and Frank and I are in the Bill House studios where we know how. When we get back, we are going to talk about the superstars not superstarring. And we also have the matchup we've all been waiting for next week. We'll talk about it next on 97.3 The Fan.
I'm Pat Boyle here to help you get the books of Western One Sports.
San Diego High School Sports just gave us a major question. What matters more, superstar players or complete teams? You've got Dax Hall from Santa Fe Christian, averaging 27 points and 7 assists per game and winning player of the year. And on the girls' side, Jordan Brown, just a freshman, dominating and leading Francis Parker to a championship. That's superstar impact. But then look at teams like Cathedral Catholic Baseball, ranked number 1 in depth everywhere, or Carlsbad Softball, undefeated and loaded across the lineup. So what actually wins in San Diego High School sports? One elite player or an entire roster of contributors? Because when playoff time comes, that difference could decide everything. This week in San Diego High School sports, we've got ranking shakeups, player of the year honors, and a clear picture of which programs are dominating the county right now. In baseball, Cathedral Catholic High School continues to hold the number 1 spot, while Rancho Bernardo and Granite Hills stay right behind in the hunt. In softball, it's a battle at the top with Mater Dei Catholic and Carlsbad leading the way, with Carlsbad still undefeated. Meanwhile, postseason honors are out, and some standout names headline the county. Dax Hall takes boys basketball player of the year, while Jordan Brown makes a huge statement as a freshman, winning girls player of the year. And in soccer, Kai Wheeler, Samantha Harpster lead a dominant year for Del Norte.
Yep, San Diego High School sports are starting to separate contenders from the rest. And this week, we've got a clear picture thanks to updated rankings and postseason awards between dominant number 1 teams, undefeated programs, and some elite individual performances. The county is loaded with talent right now. We'll start with baseball here, as Cathedral Catholic remains the number 1 team in San Diego, and they are backing it up. They've got wins, depth, and most importantly, the most complete roster in the county, but also keeping an eye on Rancho Bernardo and Granite Hills. Both teams are right there, capable of making a run. And here's the sneaky storyline. Ramona, currently sitting at 8-0, undefeated, ranked 9th, might be one of those teams really flying under the radar right now and are having a very, very good season in the process.
And softball is shaping up to be one of the best races we've seen in a while. Modern Day Catholic holds the top spot, but Carlsbad is undefeated at 10-0 and right behind them. That's the kind of matchup that could define the season when playoffs roll around. And don't overlook teams like Bonita Vista and Escondido Charter. Both are having strong seasons and capable of making deep runs, which leads to our Player of the Year awards that have come from the winter sports. Let's talk about some of the top players in San Diego this year. Dax Hall from Santa Fe Christian was named Boys Basketball Player of the Year, and deservedly so. He averaged 27 points and 7 assists per game, leading the county in both categories. That's not just scoring, that's complete offensive control. And Frank, on the girls' side, it's Frances Parker, freshman, Jordan Brown, who wins Player of the Year, a freshman. Very impressive.
You'll love seeing the underclassmen get one over. She averaged 20 points per game and led her team to an open division title. That tells you everything you need to know about her impact for Frances Parker girls basketball. And in soccer, Del Norte completely dominated the awards. Kai Wheeler wins the Boys Player of the Year, anchoring one of the best defenses in the state. Samantha Harpster takes the honor for the girls, leading her team to a CIF championship. That is a program that is doing everything right from top to bottom for boys and girls.
Track and Rising Stars. Track season is also heating up with some elite performances. Maya Estes from Canyon Crest is now tied for 7th all-time in San Diego history in the long jump. Cameron Yarborough from Del Norte posted one of the fastest 800-meter times in section history. And we're seeing multi-sport athletes continue to dominate across different competitions. But the big takeaway this week is, are we seeing a shift towards superstar-driven teams or complete team depth winning championships? You look at players like Dax Hall and Jordan Brown, elite game-changing talent, but then you look at teams like Cathedral Catholic Baseball and Carlsbad Lacrosse, deep, balanced, complete rosters. In high school sports, especially in San Diego, it feels like teams with depth, not just stars, are the ones built for long playoff runs, and that balance between individual talent and team depth might decide who wins CIF titles this year when it comes to the spring championships in San Diego.
Better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
Ben & Woods is available in podcast form. You can listen to the full show or hour by hour by searching for Ben & Woods on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I know there's a series against the Red Sox coming up this weekend for the Padres, but there's some massive news coming down at Major League Baseball right now. And it has to do with something the Padres are going to see in a couple days. The Pirates, it's been reported that they are calling up Connor Griffin to debut in the Pirates home opener on Friday. Okay. So Padres are going to see most likely Connor Griffin if everything goes to plan. Now, we talked about this on Gwen and Chris the other day, and one of the writers in town was like, this team is awful. Why is this guy not up? He better be up by the time they have their home opener if you want some sort of fan base to continue on with this team. I don't know that his letter itself was the one that did this, but we'll see. This guy, Connor Griffin, has been so highly touted. There's a lot of pressure on him to be the guy that they think he is, but he's supposed to debut on Friday.
I mean, there might be, because I remember there were a couple of issues with a couple players coming up that it was trying to manipulate.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to manipulate service time. Yeah. So that might be the case. I don't think it was long enough, though. If it's 6 games is not long enough, so they wasted a week without him. But interesting, you're going to be able to see him. You're going to see him right in Pittsburgh a couple days out. You got Paul Skeens scheduled to go on Tuesday.
Yep, Pivetta Skeens. That's going to be kind of fun.
That's going to be a very, very good one.
Jackson Merrill, Paul Skeens, finally. The Pirates, I don't know if they're going to be any better from this, but if, I don't want to see Connor Griffin do great things against the Padres. That's just not something I want to think about all season. So there we go. We'll see the Pirates starting on Monday when the Padres travel there. All right. When we went to break, I said we're going to talk about the superstars not superstarring. And what I mean by that, and by the way, I'm filling in for Braden Surprenant here on 97.3 The Fan. Braden's actually on the chat on the plane right now, chatting with people. So he's watching. Makes me nervous. I better do a great job for him. And he said he's doing the Freedom Trail because he's going to Boston.
Yes.
I've done that. Very cool. Very cool Freedom. I'm also a history nerd. So I loved walking the Freedom Trail, although I did it in like July when it was about 150 degrees.
Don't worry, he's doing it at like 40 degrees.
Yeah, that's not fun either. It needs to be in the happy medium right there, like 85 degrees with some humidity. I'm good with that. All right. The superstars not superstarring. It's something I say on the Skraby show all the time because the superstars have to superstar, and I consider these guys the superstars. Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, and Jackson Merrill. I consider those guys the guys that need to drive this offense. And if you're looking at it right now, Fernando Tatis Jr. has the highest batting average out of the four of those guys at 238. But he's only got a 646 OPS. He's walked 4 times. I'll give him that. That's pretty good. He struck out 5 times. And he's stolen 2 bases, no home runs, only 1 double. We need more slug. He needs more doubles. I don't even care if he hits home runs. Just be the Fernando that is running wild on the bases, and things will be okay. And he can, as I said, he's stolen 2 bases already. So Fernando, I think that he'll pick it up as the season goes. Jackson Merrill's second in the batting average department, 217. Now he has that 1 home run. He has 1 double. Only 2 walks. He struck out 5 times. So his OPS is 671. So there's 2 superstars with their OPS under 700. If you look at Xander, he's hitting 167. And for how hard he was hitting the ball to start the year, he has gone the other way. His OPS, Frank, 408. The Xander Bogaerts OPS is 408. He's 4 for 24. And granted, they always say he hit it hard, but he hit it right to someone. Seems like that's what we say a lot.
Yeah,
with Xander Bogaerts.
And we said that a lot last year too. But Jackson's kind of puzzling to me.
Why?
It's actually it's kind of bothering me, if I'm honest.
Bothering you?
Last night, during yesterday's game, you had a chance in the 5th inning. You already had a run across. You just had the error that scored Gavin Sheets, that moved runners over to second and third, 2 out. You had Hauser on the ropes. I understand that this is the new batting style for the Padres is to attack early. You do kind of have to read the game. Yeah. And right now you had Hauser on the ropes, unable to throw strikes, had to run across, had a chance for a big inning. And Jackson lines the first pitch out to right field. Big problem. Then you have in the 8th inning, you already had the big inning. You have the bases loaded, 1 out. Strike 1, strike 2, nubber right in the dirt, 2-3 double play inning over. That's and then with a strikeout and a ground out in there as well. That's not great out of Jackson. No. Especially in big high leverage moments when you can really put the game away. That's worrisome. He's really taking this attack early mantra that the Padres have now with the new hitting coach. He's taking that literally.
I think that goes into something we talk about in the roundtable, which is it goes into the ability to adjust throughout the game. And if they're not going to adjust their approach because of Craig Stammen saying, hey, they Landon Roop and Logan Webb pitched differently than what we game plan for, you cannot just, okay, well, we're going to go with our game plan anyway.
Yeah, you can't just sit on it.
No, and I do think it's hard for me because I'm not in the box and I'm not Jackson Merrill. And I know if I were to say, Tony, why did Jackson Merrill swing at the first pitch again? He would say, maybe that's the best pitch he's going to see. And that's true. But situationally, I would like to see maybe a little bit more of a thoughtful at bat, like seeing, can I make something out of this instead of first pitch? Okay, I can hit this. I'll swing. And then he's out.
He's a professional athlete, and he's especially Jackson Merrill. We've seen him in the clubhouse. The kid is locked in 24/7.
Yeah.
So he knows how to read the feel of a game, and he knows how to read where the game is going. When you have a pitcher struggling to throw strikes, just had an error that cost him a run, and now you've got runners on second and third with a run already in the inning, you got to read that as we got to be a little bit more selective here. Try to find a pitch that we can hit instead of, oh, there's a strike, let's take a hack.
Yeah. It does really irk me when I see guys swinging first pitch in big situations, because it's like all this build up. Hey, we got two guys on base. Things are working in our favor. And then innings over. Just like that.
Yeah.
But again, maybe that was the best pitch he was going to see. I don't know. But I understand what you're saying. Also, I'm going to disclaimer this many times today. We're only 6 games in. So we're only able to analyze what we've seen so far. So that's why we have to make a big deal out of this stuff. Final superstar that's not superstarring. He's not superstarring because he's not hitting for power, but that's Manny Machado.
Yeah.
He's hitting 263. I actually missed him on the batting average thing. He's actually the highest batting average. He does have a 785 OPS, but he has no home runs.
He got a double yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He has 2 doubles. He's 5 for 19. He has scored 3 runs. He's walked 5 times, and he struck out 5 times. That line right there would be okay for someone like Miguel Andujar or someone like Xander Bogaerts. That's not what Manny Machado, that's not a line for him. He needs to be, and I'm not even talking about the batting average. I'm just talking about, I would have expected him to have 3 doubles by now and a home run or something like that. I don't know why, and this may be sacrilegious a little bit, but I think some fans feel like this. I don't have the strongest confidence when Manny comes up to the plate. And I don't know why that is, because at the end of the year, he will have his 28 to 30 home runs, his 95 to 105 RBIs, and he will hit 270. But like, I just don't feel like there is I don't want to say clutch factor because he is clutch, but I just don't feel like, I don't feel like he's the best option at the moment, which in that spot, I know that Manny Machado is great, but in that spot,
he's always, that's one thing we always talk about year in and year out with him, is that he does not have the greatest start to a season. His Aprils are always slow, and last year was the outlier. Last year was an anomaly for him. And you could tell that he's, I think I heard it yesterday, since August 1st last year, he's only hitting about 215, 216.
So Manny Machado? Yeah. I mean,
so
it's been a struggle.
Yeah, it's not great. And so you couple a fast start with a slow finish, and now a slow finish to a slow start to the next season. It's not going to look good on him. But again, he's going to find a way, as he always does, to have his standard normal season.
Yeah. And he will. I just don't know. I need more clutch. I need more.
No, I agree.
RBIs when there's guys on base. And to know that even if I know the low slider outside is coming, like, I know it looks great, but it ends up being not a great pitch for Manny to swing at. But superstars are going to have to start superstarring, and they're going to have to start doing it soon, because although they're 2 games below 500, I don't want that feeling for this team to have to go uphill every single day fighting to get back to 500. I do not want that. That is an exhausting existence as a baseball team.
Yeah, and that's why a win yesterday was so important, because now it kind of stops that skid. You've won the series finale in both games, so we know you can get it done there. Let's try opening the series with a win. And heck, let's maybe even try getting that middle game too.
Yeah, why not? We're going to go to break here. Wild Wilbur 50 says, you can't punt on a Manny Machado season. Absolutely. I am not going to punt on a Manny Machado season. I'm just saying I want some more RBIs. I want some more stakes, Frank. All right. Braden Surprenant Show. I am Matt Skraby. That is Frank Marchese. We are in the Bill House Studios where we know how. Coming up next, California Legion. They are in action, and we're going to talk to their CEO when we get back here on 97.3 The Fan.
Ben and Woods on The Fan.
I've been listening to you guys for the past...
This weekend in motorsports proved one thing. Races aren't always won by the fastest car. At Martinsville, it was Denny Hamlin, led nearly 300 laps, and he still lost. Why? Well, strategy. Chase Elliott's team pitted early, caught a perfectly timed caution, flipped track position, and stole the win. Meanwhile, in IndyCar, Alex Palou did the opposite. Pure domination, led almost the entire race and won by 13 seconds. And in Formula One, a 19-year-old just took over the sport. Kimi Antonelli won his second straight race and is now the youngest championship leader ever. So here's the question. What matters more, having the fastest car or making the smartest call? This week in motorsports came down to three things: strategy, dominance, and a superstar officially arriving. A gamble flipped a NASCAR race. IndyCar saw a champion reassert control, and Formula One may have a new face of the sport. And Frank, let's start with what happened in Martinsville this weekend in NASCAR.
Yes, Chase Elliott pulling off one of the smartest wins of the season at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. The race looked like it belonged to Denny Hamlin, led 292 of the 500 laps, completely dominated the race, but Elliott's crew chief, Alan Gustafson, made a bold call, pit nearly 30 laps earlier than the rest of the field. At the time, it looked really risky, and then a perfectly timed caution came out, flipping the entire race on its head. That strategy gave Elliott the track position that he needed and allowed him to restart with fresher tires, and he took advantage of it, passing Hamlin and holding him off for the win on a day where it was very, very difficult to pass. And for Alan Gustafson, a crew chief who's often criticized by fans, it was a statement call. And for Elliott, it's the earliest he's ever won a Cup Series race in his career, earliest in the season that he's ever won a Cup race in his career. So a very, very big day for Chase Elliott.
Yeah, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of highs and lows in the NASCAR storylines this weekend. While Elliott celebrated, the rest of the garage had mixed results. Denny Hamlin dominated but finished second, partly due to a loose wheel late. Tyler Reddick cooled off with a 15th place finish, but still leads the standings comfortably. Kyle Busch continues to struggle. No top 10 finishes in 7 races. And Brad Keselowski made his 600th career start, joining some pretty elite company. Also announced Kevin Harvick is headlining the latest NASCAR Hall of Fame nominees, adding another big storyline to watch, but a big congratulations to Kevin Harvick.
Yep, absolutely. And he'll be on the call for the rest of the Fox season as well as races continue there. Moving over to IndyCar, Alex Palou reminded everyone why he is the reigning champion. At Barber Motorsports Park in Alabama, Palou started on pole, led 79 of the 90 laps, and won by over 13 seconds. That is just Alex Palou doing what Alex Palou does. And the scariest part about that is every time Palou has won at Barber, he's won the championship. And now he is just 2 points behind that championship lead after a dominant victory at St. Pete to open up the IndyCar season. So a huge, huge win by Alex Palou to reassert himself at the top of the IndyCar pecking order.
It might be time to announce a new era of Formula One, Frank. I mean, in Formula One, it is Kimi Antonelli, and he won the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka Circuit, his second straight victory. And with that, he becomes the youngest championship leader in Formula One history.
Yep, 19 years old, from Italy, capitalized on a perfectly timed safety car on a big, big accident by Oliver Behrman, who had an impact of, if I remember correctly, 50 Gs. He was noticeably limping when he got out of the car. Antonelli then took the lead, pulled away by over 13 seconds, back-to-back win, championship lead. Now Formula One takes an unplanned month off. This month here in April, they were planning on running the Saudi Arabian and the Bahrain Grand Prix, but have been canceled due to the conflict in the Middle East. So now the next time that they are going to jump on the track is going to be at Miami at the very beginning of May. And these teams are going to use this time to, one, try to get some regulation changes made in Formula One, because the cars and the racing have been very, very poor this year. And they are also going to try to get some upgrades to these cars ready in time for the Miami Grand Prix.
So what matters more in racing? Is it strategy or is it speed? Because look at what we just saw. Chase Elliott wins with strategy, not the fastest car. Alex Palou dominates purely on pace. And Kimi Antonelli wins both timing and speed. So what wins championships?
It is the smartest. You have to be smart. You have to have a good car, but you also have to make the right moves at the right time. And sometimes you do make the right move at the right time, but then something happens to make it look like a bad move at a very, very inopportune time. So you need to.
Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese here in the Bill House Studios, where we know how, on 97.3 The Fan. We have a lot more to come in the show, so do not go anywhere. But right now, we need to bring on the CEO of the California Legion, Adam Freier. He joins us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not Big Bang Banking, it's better. Hello, Adam. How are you?
G'day, Matt. How are you, mate?
I'm doing great. Oh, you call? I already love it that you have an Australian accent, I'm assuming.
I've got to be careful with this, because sometimes I come in hot with an Australian accent. You'll either enjoy it or you'll need subtitles, and it's difficult to do that on radio. So I'll slow it down for you both.
Okay, yeah, I can understand everything that you're saying, so everything's all good. But you are, as I said, the CEO of the California Legion. I know that the season started here recently, but one of the questions that when I was asking someone, hey, I'm going to be talking to this guy, they wanted to know, why did the Legion merge with the LA team?
Yeah, and look, that's probably the question that most San Diego sports fans are asking. And I had the pleasure of going down. It's an awesome little bar. It's actually called The Bar down in San Diego. Dan Diego's. Anyway, I went down. I met with about 50 of them, shouted them all a beer and tried to explain it. And look, they're not happy about it. And I feel like some fans appreciate that we need to take this game to a broader level. And the demand and the supply for rugby fans sort of just putting it in San Diego, it wasn't sustainable, and we need to celebrate this game across the state. And it's very normal for rugby teams to be representing a state, especially here in the MLR. We had Utah, New England. So San Diego has probably been the number one rugby team as far as fandom, and their fans like all San Diego fans, they're quite fanatical. But what come about this year is like ownership groups sort of looked at it and sort of found a way of trying to bring this game across the state. And the other thing which has been a real eye-opener for me is when a FIFA World Cup comes to town, like you're not even second, third, you're not even on the podium as far as can I pick a stadium. So New Zealand have come into Torero. They've booked that out. So that's good for sports fans that you can have a World Cup team based out of Torero. But there was really only one game that we could have played in San Diego, and we grabbed that. It is Easter weekend, which is good and bad. There's a lot of people visiting San Diego. I know my family's going down, but a lot of people out of town. But it really was the best thing to keep the Legion alive. So this is a brand new entity. It will have games in San Diego, it'll have games in Orange County, and in LA, and in Northern California. But we are going to respect, as the season goes on, this year there's only one game, but there'll be many more for the years to come. It's just this year, shortened season and FIFA World Cup. There's just nowhere in Southern California to play rugby on grass. Yeah, it was a really tricky exercise, but we saw last week in Orange County, it was awesome. There were so many red jerseys. I felt there was a lot of LA blue. There was a lot of local club rugby jerseys. There was definitely a lot of San Diego red. So, look, it's going to take some time. It's arranged marriage, but so far, got the feedback, totally get it. The way it was communicated originally probably wasn't great. But fans are jumping back on board, and my emails lit up with a lot of people saying thank you for last weekend. It was a great experience. We didn't get the result we wanted on the field, but we know that San Diego knows how to put on a sporting event. We're hoping plenty of people come out there Easter Saturday at 4:00.
Yeah, we're talking to Adam Freier, the CEO of the California Legion here on 97.3 The Fan, the SDCCU fan hotline. When I was in high school, rugby was a big thing at my school. So I never got to play rugby or anything like that, but I know back then it was even growing. Is rugby growing here in the United States, and is Major League Rugby catching on here in the USA?
It's a really good question, because if you're a rugby purist and you've followed the game here professionally for the last 8 years and you've seen Major League Rugby, you don't know how to answer that, because it started at 10, got to 13 teams, and went to 11, went to 8, and it's got now it practices or preaches at 6. So there's 6 professional teams in Major League Rugby. Now, if you look at other examples of sport, let's use Major League Soccer, right? So the MLS had a period where it absolutely exploded early days, and that's been around for 30 years now. So it does take time for these professional leagues to mature. It had a really rapid rise. Then it went through a really hard consolidation period where, there was probably 3 or 4 owners that got around the table and took a big chunk of it and ran at it, like the AEG being one of them, Anschutz. And now there's been a slow incline of growth of Major League Soccer, and then there's this huge hockey stick when you get to a World Cup coming. So if you put rugby on that same trajectory, it's been through the ups and downs, and now it's fully consolidated. And we've got a Rugby World Cup coming in 2031.
Okay.
So what's important, I believe, for San Diego is to make sure if there is a Rugby World Cup game or games played at Snapdragon, you're going to fill that thing out. Like, that's an incredible ground, perfect for rugby. So our goal is to make sure we're in the village, we're making sure we're playing rugby in San Diego for the long haul, and making sure in 2031, when the World Cup comes to town, that's where I see the game really taking that hockey stick. And we tend to get, or rugby crowds get, anywhere between sort of 2,500 to 5,000, which is pretty good for an emerging sport, but it is here to stay. Very, very supported at a collegiate level. The club game is huge. So all of the different clubs around San Diego that play socially, huge support. Southern California is probably the hotbed of rugby in the country. So when I look at Southern California and rugby, we're in a very good place. And even nationally, it is expanding and growing. I think women's rugby is one of the fastest growing women's sports in the country. So some really good signs for the sport. But as I say, and as you said just before, everybody's got a rugby story, whether they've played at high school or their buddy did this or they had to drink beer out of someone's shoe. Everyone understands that rugby has a place in their heart. And the Legion, you could argue, is probably the second biggest rugby brand aside from USA Rugby, the national team.
Okay. I like to hear that. The California Legion are going to play this Saturday at USD versus the New England Free Jacks at 4 p.m. Now, it's going to be tough because New England is the 3-time defending Major League Rugby champion. You can go and get tickets at CaliforniaLegion.com. We're talking to Adam Freier, CEO of the Legion. And I want to talk about local star Ryan James. When we go and watch him, what are we looking for?
Oh my God, he's my hero. So Ryan James has got a New Zealand mother, born and bred San Diego. He's our flyer. So if you're looking at, you put rugby against sort of football or NFL, he's our running back.
Okay.
And he epitomizes our game. So he's got local academies and kids. There's people that just turn up to support him. So he's one of our stars. We've also got another, our back row, which is a group of players. We've got Christian Portevins local, Stefan Crimp, that's been there for many days. So a lot of our team has a lot of San Diego blood. And it's funny, all of these players that are associated with a school and associated with a club, all these kids do come out. But if you had to look at a player that could say, well, is this guy, could he cut it in college football or could he make it in NFL? Ryan James is the guy. He is legit good, fast, electric. And my biggest issue with RJ is he just doesn't come off the field at the end of the game. He just stays out there for hours signing autographs. So he's legit good. And look, last weekend we had a bit of a hiccup, but it's a brand new team that's come together. This is the time you want to play the champions from last year. And I feel like California just doesn't like New England in general. And the Lakers don't like the Celtics. There's a bit of rivalry, and I'm already feeling that this week with some of the tone in the emails from the other team. So, we want to build this rivalry out, and I feel like it's going to develop over time. But this is our grand final in week 2. There's no doubt about it. It was a tough loss last week. We really need to get the W this week.
All right. Well, again, you can go get tickets at CaliforniaLegion.com. They're going to be playing this Saturday at USD 4 p.m. against the New England Free Jacks. Thank you, Adam. I learned some stuff about rugby today. Hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, cool, guys. Hey, thanks for the support. Cheers.
Have a great day. That was Adam Freier, CEO for the California Legion on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking. It's better. I played football growing up, Frank, and I wanted nothing to do with rugby. Like, I need those pads. I don't understand.
You learn how to hit
people because
you learn how to hit properly without those pads.
I guess you do, but it also hurts a lot more. But I used to watch the rugby practices, and I was like, "What are these guys are insane."
Yes,
they're like it's almost like MMA fight on a field. It's insane. But I've never been to a Legion game, so maybe I'll have to check one out. All right. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. I am Matt Skraby, filling in for Braden Surprenant. That is Frank Marchese over there. Now, do I want to bring this up, Frank? Do I want to bring up what Shohei Ohtani did going into yesterday?
Oh, gosh.
Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
All right. I Shohei Ohtani, I've been struggling in my own head how to talk about him. Obviously, he's a Dodger, so it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also watching history. We're watching someone that people are going to be talking about 100 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to ignore that. I love how Frank has his hand on his under his chin.
We're waiting. We're all eagerly waiting here.
So the coming into yesterday, I know this changed a little bit, so I wanted to make sure everybody knew this was coming into yesterday. The Major League Baseball longest active on base streak. Jonathan Aranda third with 19 games. Geraldo Perdomo of the D-backs with 22 games. And then Shohei Ohtani, longest active on base streak, 36 games. Do you know that at the same time, he was also the Major League Baseball's longest active scoreless inning streak as a pitcher? Mason Miller overtook it yesterday, but Shohei Ohtani coming into yesterday, 22 2/3 scoreless innings. And so he was number one in the active on base streak and number one in the active scoreless inning streak. I can't ignore it. I can't ignore it. This is something people will be talking about, not this, but Shohei Ohtani forever.
It is. It is an impressive streak. And again, I think we're so in with Ohtani fatigue, not just because he's a Dodger, but because he gets jammed down our throat by Major League Baseball at every opportunity.
He does.
So it's to no fault of his own. He's just the best baseball player on the planet. What
a jerk. Well, being the best baseball player on the planet.
No, it's not even that. Again, it's the way Major League Baseball is promoting him. So it's not his fault. The hate and vitriol that he gets from every fan base that's not the Dodgers. I don't need to know how he sneezed for the third time on a Friday at 2 p.m. I don't need to know that.
Well, that was the luckiest sneeze of all time, or
I'm sure it
most
was
valuable sneeze of all time.
I'm sure it was.
I'm with you on all that other stuff. I am okay with taking records and things that he's doing. I'm okay with talking about that. But the other day, I got a push notification from MLB, the app, and it said Shohei starts tonight. I'm like, do they realize that there's been at least like 60 or 70 starting pitchers go since the beginning of the season, and I'm under on that number by a lot, probably.
Tarek Skubal started yesterday.
Yeah, he also started opening day.
I didn't get a push notification for that.
You mean the reigning two-time Cy Young champion?
Yeah, defending,
reigning, whatever. I mean, I do dislike that a lot. I dislike the Shohei's
so
up
bad.
At bat. It will never get worse though than that one time.
Yes, Jason Bullock, you're right. We'll give MLB a foul here.
He draws the foul.
MLB gets a foul.
What is the foul? What are you calling?
Foul on Major League Baseball for jamming Ohtani down their throats all the time.
Oh, okay. I can get into that. It's definitely a foul.
Now, we do have a thing on this show. We do know that Eric Hosmer has a cameo, right?
Yes.
If Chat fouls out, if Chat gets 6 fouls during the course of one show,
okay,
we get an Eric Hosmer cameo as a promo for the show.
What?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How much does that cost?
I don't know.
Who gets
It'll
that?
be worth it, though.
You haven't gotten it yet?
No, Chat refuses. Like, they'll get to 5, but when they will stop at the 6.
What are you going to have them say if you ever get to 6?
It's just going to be a show promo.
It's just going to be
it's just going to be a show promo.
That's kind of funny, actually. Eric Hosmer is completely turned his back on San Diego, which I guess I don't blame him, because there's a lot of people that aren't a fan of his at all. But all right, MLB gets a foul.
Yep,
they get a foul. No more Shohei Ohtani push notifications, please. I do also listen on my
daily
drive
gripe
home.
Early.
Yeah, daily gripe early. Yes, I've said this before, but I listen to the Dodgers radio broadcast when the Padres aren't playing, because I like their broadcast just because they talk so much trash about the Dodgers on their own broadcast that it's fun and hilarious. And yesterday it was just over the top of like, this is the team that everybody needs to be, and I had to remove that station from my preset list. I did not. I removed it from my preset list. At 11, we're going to talk to Will Flemming, a Boston Red Sox broadcaster. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm not kind of. I am excited about that.
The radio broadcaster for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to ask him about Marcelo Meyer. He's a San Diego kid who's had kind of an interesting way up through the Red Sox organization. He was a third baseman. He was a shortstop. Now he's a second baseman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where his standing is, so we'll talk about that. Also, the Padres are going to be facing Connolly Early, which is a younger pitcher. They're going to miss Garrett Crochet completely,
yes,
which is great, because Garrett Crochet is great.
Just pitched yesterday, did he not?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're going to miss him, but they are going to face Connolly Early, who did have he did have a pretty good start in his first start. But Garrett Crochet, the reason I'm going to ask him about him is because Garrett Crochet said that he thinks Connolly Early has a better pitchability than Garrett Crochet. I don't know what pitchability means. Maybe it's just pitching ability put together.
This is where we save the interview for the interview, bud.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just wanted to run this by. Okay, Frank's right. Let's go to something else like I don't know.
We got a couple minutes here. We'll run through it a little bit later on in the show, but we'll have Michael King going against Sonny Gray tomorrow.
Yes.
That'll be an 11:10 start, so we will not have a show tomorrow.
Correct.
You will.
I will. Yes. After post game show.
Yeah, you will. We won't.
Yes.
Randy Vasquez going up against Connolly Early. That'll be the Saturday game at 1:00, and then Walker Buehler will take on Ronher Suarez.
What? I'm sorry.
That's how you pronounce his name.
Ron Hare? Wow.
He said that at his introductory press conference with the Red Sox. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, my name is Ron Hare, but I don't mind, Ranger. And Braden and I have gone on tangents about this. It's like, if your name is pronounced something, tell us how it's actually pronounced, and we will say it. We will say it that way.
See, I think there's a little bit in there where, because my last name is very, it's mistaken all the time. It's Gravy. Gravy. People say Gravy. If they hear Skraby, it's hey, is your name Gravy? Hey, I want to talk to that Gravy guy.
Oh boy.
Also, so I'm not someone who's going to try and tell someone what my actual name. If I'm not going to be dealing with them a lot, I don't need to correct them. But I guess if you are a baseball player, they're going to be saying your name a lot.
It's
Ron Hare.
Yep, it's not Ranger. It's Ronher Suarez.
All right.
And no
idea.
And no, Juan, we will not be talking about the World Cup qualifiers. Thank you very much.
Oh, why is that? Because Italy didn't make it?
Yeah, that's why.
I was looking online the other day, last night, and people are very angry about the Italian team not making the World Cup for 3 straight World Cups.
Uh-huh.
So
So since
he just says,
since they won the World Cup in 2006, they were out in the group stages. Miss.
That's bad.
That's very bad.
That is really bad.
That is very, very bad.
Jason said, I called a coworker Winston for 2 months before he finally corrected me. Now that is funny.
What's his actual name?
Wilson, maybe, or something.
It could be, yeah.
That's actually really funny.
That's incredible.
I've never done that, thankfully. I've never called someone by their wrong name for a long time.
I don't remember. It takes me a while to remember names. I remember faces. At least I thought I did, and then I went in the Padre clubhouse. I'm like, who's that guy? But I just. It takes a minute for me to remember names, but if you tell me what it is, I got you.
Kayla says, I accidentally called a coworker Rory instead of Ryan for months through email. I mean, I would make it in all caps, Matt.
Matthew.
All right.
You called him Winston. His actual name was James.
James. When we get back, we're going to be talking about the Red Sox on 97.3 The Fan. Hey, it's Skraby, and if little things in life annoy you, then you are going to like the Daily Greg. I'll share my pet peeves with you, and I'll feel better about it. The Skraby Show, weekdays, 6 to 7 p.m. on 97.3 The Fan.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Back here, 97.3 The Fan Studios, the Bill House Studio, where we know how. Frank Marchese. I'm Matt Skraby. Braden Surprenant on a plane right now. He will be joining, or he will be back on Monday, I believe. And he was actually on the plane earlier chatting. That's one of the things that when I was traveling a lot for work, I was before the internet craze. And so that was unfortunate for me because I would have loved to have the internet. Now they have, if we're going to change subjects for a second, we're about to talk Red Sox here in just a few minutes with Will. That's right. I'm trying to look through this new sheet that I have my own sheet. So I'm looking at Frank's sheet. It's set up a little bit different, but yes, we'll have Will Flemming, Boston Red Sox broadcaster, here with us, and we're going to preview this series between the Red Sox and the Padres. All right, he is ready to go. So let's bring on our next guest here on the SDCCU fan hotline, Will Flemming, Boston Red Sox broadcaster. Thanks so much for your time today, Will.
My pleasure. An off day after a disastrous first trip, and it's honey-do list, it's grocery shopping, it's yard cleanup, and it's get ready for home opening day.
All right. I like how you said that because both of our teams apparently had a disastrous start to the season. What is the feeling, the overall feeling for the Red Sox this year for the fan base?
Well, that was a different answer a week ago, I'll tell you that much. I mean, look, we all know that baseball is a marathon. It's a long, long season. And I think there's still a lot of reasons for optimism here as there are there. I mean, both these teams have a lot of good players, but unfortunately both play in really good divisions.
Yes.
And so, I think we all are going to focus on the stretch run, and we'll be talking about the trade deadline in August and September and who needs what. And, can you really get across the finish line? Can you get it to 89, 90, 92, whatever that might be? Well, they count just as much in the last week in March as they do in the last week in September. And so I think that the Red Sox now have this habit of getting out of the gate slowly, which is really frustrating because it's a season that began with a ton of optimism. And I think, the Red Sox went about their offseason in almost the exact opposite way that the Padres often do. They kind of did some surprising things. They are not now really too much in the big ticket free agent market. I think Xander Bogaerts was the first clear example of that to the people of San Diego and Boston, having that kind of shared experience. But they decided to load up on pitching, and one of those guys will go tomorrow in Sonny Gray. But Ranger Suarez comes over. They thought Johan Oviedo could be a real add to their rotation. So far, the pitching has not been good enough. And it's only one turn and plus one crochet start through the rotation.
Yeah.
But that was supposed to be the foundation of the team.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a 45 home run guy. I think they've got a couple guys who can be around 30. But so far, a lot of the things that people worried about coming into this season in terms of no proven real star players and no real power that has been proven, those things really got borne out in the first week. And so I think for a market that is as passionate and intense and frankly at times in terms of, oh God, here we go again, I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
The first week did not do a lot to dispel the concerns of a frustrated fan base.
We're talking to Will Flemming, Boston Red Sox broadcaster here on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking, it's better. Our fan bases kind of sound a little bit similar because people are very cautious about the Padres right now. You mentioned Xander Bogaerts, and we talk about Xander Bogaerts here in San Diego all the time, mainly about the contract that was given to him that some, including myself, don't think he's living up to. What were your thoughts when you saw that Xander Bogaerts was going to the Padres for the deal that he got?
Well, I thought you had a dying owner who was trying to win a championship and handed out an absolutely insane contract. I mean, and I'm sorry to say it, but that's what happened. And listen, Xander is one of my all-time, if not my number one all-time favorite Red Sox players in my time with the organization. He is a total leader, accountable, high character. And we had his peak years here in Boston where you could just book it. He was going to post every day. He was going to be a great batting average guy, drive in big runs when you needed him to, and play a solid shortstop. I mean, as he's aged, I know the defense is not the same. The power has dipped, but all those things are predictable. And I think it's not his fault. I don't blame him even a little bit. He wanted to stay in Boston. They just dragged it out too long. And by the time, that was, I'm trying to remember, all these free agent years kind of blur together, but I think it was the Aaron Judge year and the first Juan Soto go round and all these things, and Ohtani back on the market, and the Padres were not going to leave that free agent period without one of the big free agents. And it just turned out that, and Trey Turner had gone to Philadelphia. So it's like, well, we're getting Xander no matter the cost. And I mean, at the time, I thought the Red Sox were going to get him for something like $5 and a $150, and I know he would have done that here.
Mm-hmm.
So to make, 2 times that in San Diego, we were all happy for him. God bless him. But he should have been a guy who should have finished his career here and, have his number 2 up on the facade at Fenway Park. Obviously, that's not the way it worked out. But I will always love Bogey, and from afar, we always cheer for him.
Yeah, we're talking to Will Flemming, Boston Red Sox broadcaster here on 97.3 The Fan. I think every time I talk to a Red Sox fan about Xander Bogaerts, it's the same thing. Love the guy, love what he did for the team, but glad we didn't pay that much for him. And that's fair. That's fair. I want to ask about Marcelo Meyer, because he's a local guy. He's here from Chula Vista in San Diego. And from what I gather, he's had somewhat of a complicated start to his big league career with the Red Sox. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. He's at second base now. He's played other positions. But what do the Red Sox think about Marcelo Meyer?
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of an evolving idea. He's got all the natural tools in the world. I mean, this guy is as fluid as you can possibly be. He's a big dude for a guy who really is a natural shortstop, and I think he'll end up being an everyday shortstop in the major leagues. He is just an absolutely elite defender. He's got magic hands. Nothing bothers him. He's so smooth in the field, and he's got some ability as a hitter, but there are 2 main problems at the moment. One is he cannot stay healthy through a full season. I mean, I think it's 3 years in a row that he's not even played half the games, and it's some of that's bad luck. But some of that is up until now. This is a guy who was so talented in high school that he became the number 4 overall pick, and the Red Sox were doing cartwheels when he fell to them in that spot. But he never lifted a weight, in high school, because he was the most naturally gifted dude who ever stepped on a baseball field that he was on. And you find out pretty quickly at this level that everybody was basically that guy. And where you get picked and your name doesn't matter once you get into pro ball. And so he has all these flashes of brilliance. And again, the defense never, ever slumps. But he needs to stay healthy. He needs to continue to get a little stronger, which they're happy with that he has done. But he has not had enough at-bats in the minor leagues, and certainly not in the major leagues, to kind of figure out what kind of hitter he's going to be. Now, to start this season, Alex Cora is just a masterful manager and communicator, and Marcelo was kind of the guy. There seems to be one every year that Alex kind of hones in on, and the Red Sox managers kind of messages to that person, both in person and through the media. And I mean, the Red Sox did not bring back Alex Bregman. They did not trade for Ketel Marte. They didn't do a lot of the things that were rumored about what they were going to do to help their infield. And so it seemed pretty clear that Marcelo had a job because of the inactivity at some of those spots in the offseason. But Alex was very quick in spring training to say he has earned nothing. He needs to prove it to us, and he's got a long way to go. Of course, as you know, as it turned out, he did enough in camp to win a job, and he got a big pinch hit double on opening day. He's actually been good so far to start this season, but they really are challenging him and pushing him. They think there's more to it. He and Roman Anthony, this young superstar, have kind of been paired together. They've come up through the minor leagues together. They're very close friends. And Roman's career, of course, has taken off and taken this massive star turn, and Roman gets the big contract extension. And Marcelo is a long way away from that. So the sky is the limit in terms of talent and potential. There's definitely work to be done on just the stuff at the plate and just kind of the routine and structure of becoming an everyday, work hard major league pro.
Talking to Will Flemming, giving us some great information here. Boston Red Sox broadcaster, 97.3 The Fan. And just a quick follow-up on that. Where does that leave Christian Campbell, who signed a 7-year deal last year with Meyer moving to second?
Crazy. I mean, it's amazing what 12 months can do. Last year, Campbell, 2 years ago was when Christian became the poster boy for what the Red Sox thought was, this dynamite, almost revolutionary hitter development pipeline process. And by that, I mean, he was a kid who was, kind of a mid-round pick out of Georgia Tech and hit a lot of ground balls. There were always like really good athleticism there. And there was some quick hands and explosive ability. The tools were there. Well, he went from like starting a year in low A ball to being the best player in the minor leagues in a 6-month span. And a lot of that was all the things you hear and read about in terms of, pull side power. I think the word drive line gets overused, but there's certainly some principles in there of, quick hands, get to the ball, pull the ball in the air hard. And he was elite at that. And so he made the big league team last year, and he was the rookie of the month of April in the American League. He was awesome, but the big leagues figure you out very quickly. And in the first month, he hammered fastballs away from him. Well, guess what? They started to get tons of heaters up and in and a lot of spin, and he could just never adjust. So now he has completely overhauled his batting stance. His hands are lower. His feet are more square. Instead of closed off and high, he's now kind of squared up with his hands kind of down by his shoulders. And I have no doubt that the physical ability is there to make him a really good, useful player again. But it's a work in progress. And I think he's going to need 300-400 at-bats at AAA to kind of find himself, to feel comfortable with the new swing. And then, of course, the last piece of the puzzle is right now he does not really have a position. Like, they're playing him in the outfield a lot, but it just was not good enough at second base. And there are people in the organization that believe he can still be kind of a high-level defensive second baseman. And if that's true, I mean, if he can make that happen, it would make everything around the Red Sox so much easier, because they just have a need there. You could move Marcelo to the other side of the infield and really get this thing going. But Campbell is just sort of a cautionary tale. You saw the kid with the Mariners yesterday, and I have no doubt that he is an elite talent, and so many of these contracts with the young kids work out. But it is unbelievable to me now how quickly these front offices, knowing that free agency can be so painful, how early on they extend these kids at outrage. I mean, if it works out, it's a great deal. But, I mean, Christian Campbell is making, a lot of money to be a AAA hitter.
That is true. This was great. Thank you so much, Will, for joining the show. That was awesome information. And you know what? I'll be thinking about you tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday when the Padres are beating the Red Sox. Okay.
We'll see about that. I will tell you this. Look, it's been a really rough start for the Red Sox, but I can tell you, I mean, the fans will be a little ornery after a 1-5 start, but I can tell you that Fenway becomes a very special place, and we've seen it the last couple of years that this team, these players, they do feed off of it. So I expect a good effort from the Red Sox this weekend. Should be fun.
All right. Thanks so much, Will. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Take care.
That was Will Flemming, Boston Red Sox broadcaster here on 97.3 The Fan. Joined us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking, it's better. That was a high quality information interview. I learned more about the Red Sox in that 10 minutes than I have in the last couple of years.
And that's why we do these interviews before every series.
Yeah.
So it gets you ready. You know what you're getting into going into the upcoming series.
Yeah, I didn't want to ask him this, but you have his phone number listed on the sheet. Obviously, I'm not going to say anything about it, but he's got an area code that is a West Coast area code, and he's also got a brother. There's a guy named Dave Flemming. I don't know if that's his brother or not.
Who we had on the show on Monday.
I love Dave Flemming. Is that his brother? Will
I'm
Flemming?
not sure. I did
not want to ask him, but because of the West Coast area code, I was like, maybe. Well, thank you, Frank, for putting that together, and thank you to Will. If I'm a Red Sox fan, I am more and more upset each year. It seems like that is what the lot in life for Red Sox fans are right now. And some of it, I truly believe, has to do with the equity group that bought them, because all of the money is now pooled, and the Red Sox money does not go to the Red Sox per se. It goes into a big account, basically, and they could use it for anything. And I've talked to some Bostonians about that. And some are like, oh, who cares? Some are like, yeah, it's really bad. They're not putting enough money into the team. But then when you give Christian Campbell all that money, you're just kind of wasting it. You're kind of just throwing it away at that point.
Yeah, it wasn't great. And again, we're planned at least to discuss a little bit later on the Mariners signing that kid in the minor leagues, as Will brought up. There's talks of an extension for Connor Griffin before he's even played a game. So that is one thing that is definitely becoming a trend, is signing these young players to big, long contracts, which is why I'm glad you brought it up about Christian Campbell, because he did. He was the first one of those young players to really sign that big contract. And now his position, he's been sent to the minor leagues. His position's been taken. That's a lot of money to not find someone, to not find a place for someone to play.
That we have financial issues here with the San Diego Padres in certain areas, but the Red Sox, that's a pretty bad one right there. The Xander stuff, he was just like, I see some people in the chat a little upset that he said what he said about Peter Seidler, and I would have phrased it differently.
Yeah,
but
he wasn't wrong though.
He's not wrong. I mean, that's kind of what I think happened. I think that Peter Seidler wanted to win a championship, wanted to bring championship caliber players to the team. He decided to sign Xander Bogaerts. And the rest is history.
After missing out on Trey Turner and Aaron Judge.
Yes.
So they were going for broke that offseason as well.
Yeah, I understand why they made the move. I will never understand the contract, but maybe that's what they needed to get Xander into
away
town
from Boston.
But again, I would have phrased the whole thing with Peter differently. And he wasn't, I can tell you, he was not saying that to be rude.
No.
But that is the truth in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't be mad at someone for saying the truth.
No,
you can't. Thank you to Will Flemming from the Boston Red Sox. I wanted to ask him about that pitchability thing, but we were already so far over, and we had some local stuff. So, all right. K-Law says June Lee did a good YouTube video. Oh, about the Red Sox. Yes, I did see that. That was some high quality video right there. I mean, that must have taken them a month to do. I don't know. That was an impressive video. So go check out June Lee, because he explains everything about equity groups buying sports teams. Yep. All right, you're listening to the Braden Surprenant Show. I'm Matt Skraby. That's Frank Marchese here on 97.3 The Fan. When we get back, I want to talk a little bit about Craig Stammen. We'll hear from him from yesterday, after yesterday's game, and we'll just discuss the Padres manager when we get back on 97.3 The Fan.
The NBA playoffs are 2 weeks away, and it's all about matchups. Detroit leads the East, but their weak three-point shooting makes them vulnerable to Boston or New York. The Celtics' slow pace could be exposed if Tatum isn't fully dialed in. In the West, Oklahoma City looks dominant, but their corner three defense is shaky, perfect for San Antonio's sharpshooters. The Lakers struggle inside the paint. Denver can't force turnovers, and Minnesota's bench is short. Essentially, the playoffs will come down to which teams can hide their kryptonite and which get exposed. Get ready, because May and June in the NBA are going to be a chess match, and every possession matters. The NBA playoffs are just 2 weeks away, and the picture is starting to take shape across both conferences. Let's break it down. We are looking at some of the kryptonites of these potential teams and determining who can advance in the NBA playoffs and whose kryptonite is too much to hold to overcome. And we'll start in the Eastern Conference. Detroit Pistons, number one seed, a 77.6% chance to reach the semifinals, even a 30% chance to reach the finals, which is the best in the Eastern Conference. But their kryptonite, Frank, is three-point shooting.
Yeah, Detroit's offense relies heavily on Cade Cunningham and half-court execution, but their floor spacing is a concern against elite defenses like Boston or New York, who can make them feel very uncomfortable from long range. So if the Pistons do not have that three-point shot working, they really have a tough time winning basketball games.
The Boston Celtics have Tatum back, right? So let's see what they have up their sleeve, as they have a 72% chance of reaching the semis, a 17.4% chance of making the NBA Finals. But their fast break scoring has been a little bit of a problem. They have slow transition game. Their slow transition game is manageable in the regular season, but playoff pace could expose gaps unless Jason Tatum stays healthy and efficient. I don't know if Jason Tatum coming back will be enough for the Boston Celtics to overcome the Detroit Pistons. I
don't think so. And there's an interesting deal here with the New York Knicks coming in next. They have a 75.7% chance to make the semifinals, a 20.7% chance to make the NBA Finals. Kryptonite for them, though, is their bench scoring. With their bench ranking 28th in points, the Knicks could struggle to keep up against teams like Miami, who thrive with their secondary units. Did not help them last night as we record this on Monday. Did not help them last night as they ended up losing, I believe it was 111-100 against a pretty important team if they want to win the NBA championship, and that was the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. 77.8% a chance to make the semis, a 20.8% chance to make the finals. Slightly better odds than the New York Knicks, but they can't stop three-point defense. And Cleveland's focus on rim protection opens the door for teams like Charlotte, who can excel from deep, and that could be a matchup that Cleveland doesn't want to see early in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that the Detroit Pistons will certainly want to see at some point in the NBA postseason, with their three-point shooting being as hot and cold as it is. I'm sure Cleveland, they're really going to be in trouble. They're really going to be sweating it out if they have to face the Detroit Pistons at any point during the playoffs.
As we move to the Western Conference, the three teams that we've talked about the most in these updates have been the Thunder, the Spurs, and the Denver Nuggets. And a lot of those reasonings are they are the best three teams in the Western Conference, but also they have the best MVP odds for their individual players on their teams as well, which could lead to what you would think would be a very highly competitive Western Conference, and one that wouldn't have a lot of flaws. Well, Oklahoma City Thunder, who has a 91.8% chance of making the semifinals and a 55.3% chance of winning the Western Conference, they still are human, and they still have elements of their game that might hurt them late. And this is all you need to know about how good they are. Their biggest problem is corner threes. If that is the biggest problem that you have as an NBA team or any basketball team, you're in pretty good shape. I could see why that 55.3% chance of making the finals is as high as it is.
Yeah, absolutely. They are a very, very good team. Now to the San Antonio Spurs, who have a couple more problems than just the corner three. They have an 82.9% chance of making the semifinals. They have a 26.4% chance of making the NBA Finals. And pretty much, if it's not Oklahoma City, it's going to be San Antonio from what everyone's speculating. Their kryptonite, though, is closing out games. And the reason why is they're still a very, very young team. They've struggled to finish out games with big leads, which could be costly against clutch teams like the next team here on this list.
If Wembanyama wasn't so worried about who was voting for him for MVP and wasn't
You know what, Frank? I have been complaining about my earbuds for a long time. Since I bought them, I cannot figure out how to get these things in my ear, but I love when they're in my ear. They stay in my ear. They're perfect in my ear, but getting them in the ear is tough.
That's why you just throw some cans over your head.
But then I have a line across my hair.
That is
messing my hair day up.
That is an issue. But when you're 6
that is an issue.
When you're 6'4" like I am, there's not too many people looking down at the top of your head.
That's true. Yeah, you are tall. You are taller than me. I'm the tallest guy on my show. You're the tallest guy on your show. And Ben, Paul's pretty. I wasn't meaning it like that.
No, I know.
Paul is pretty tall. I don't know if he's taller than Ben, though. I'm not sure. I don't think he's. Ben's tall. Paul's tall. Woods is tall, but he's not as tall as those guys.
Chat foul.
He draws the foul.
So that's number 2.
No, that's number 1 for the chat.
Oh, okay. All right. Braden Surprenant is out today. He will be back on Monday.
Yes.
He is in Boston. I believe he's going to some of these games.
He's going to the Saturday game. Again, we are not going to have a show tomorrow because of the game. Braden will be at the game on Saturday. Then we will be back with you on Monday. We are here Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday because of the series finale in Pittsburgh, and then Thursday, Friday.
Okay. There you go. You have the schedule for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Gwen and Chris is going to be on today. I'm not going to be there. It's actually going to be Adam Klug in my seat today.
Yes.
So it goes 2 to 5 for them. And then at 5 to 6 is the Epic Wings roundtable replay that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And then no Skraby show tonight. But tomorrow, we will have a post game show since it's opening day in Boston and the game is starting at 10 a.m. our time, which is interesting because that's what 2:10 p.m. in.
Yeah, Boston always does their opening day a little bit later.
Okay, that's
it's
weird.
It's always a little bit later.
I think it's cool that they're going to Boston for opening day, though.
Yeah,
I don't know why I think it's cool, but
it's interesting. It's a place you never really go to all that often for an opening day, especially.
You've been there?
I have not.
What?
I have unfortunately not been there.
Oh man, I've told this story before, but back when I was a drinker, I haven't drank in over 9 years at this point, and it's for a reason. It's definitely for a reason. This story I'm about to tell is one of those reasons. But I went to 2 Red Sox games, and I sat in the left field bleachers with all those near. I think it's called Pesky's Pole.
Yeah,
over there.
That's a
or the right field.
Yeah,
right field. Sorry, left field is the Green Monster. By the way, Green Monster, not as big as you think it is. It's not as monstrous as you think. It's monstrous, but I imagine to be afraid of this wall when I walked into the stadium.
It's like the size of the second deck. It's
it is
straight up to the second deck.
It's not as big as you think it is, but outfield is massive. They have a weird park, but
yes,
I was sitting out there. The whole thing with Sweet Caroline came on. It's about 5 beers in or something.
Oh no!
And I had so much fun doing the ba ba ba, and people were cheering me on. They were loving it. Everybody was into it. It was awesome. I loved it. So if you go to a Red Sox game, please do the Sweet Caroline. Ba ba ba. It was fun. It was fun. I don't know if anybody's been to Fenway Park. You can leave a message in the chat. We are on the Braden Surprenant Show YouTube, also 97.3 The Fan YouTube. That's where I'm reading the comments today. It's the 97.3 The Fan.
You're not looking in the StreamYard?
No.
You can just look in the StreamYard and you see
all
of them.
We have, okay, let me open up the StreamYard. I was just watching the YouTubes before.
We got Facebook. We're rolling on Facebook as well. We're rolling on Twitter. We're rolling on Twitch as well. Go Aztecs in the chat.
Okay, I'm getting it. I'm going in right now. StreamYard's a little slow right now for some reason. Not sure why it's so slow.
That whole computer is usually a little slow, and Braden loves making fun of it.
Oh, this computer I'm not even touching. It's the laptop. It's the laptop that I'm doing.
I've lost that computer now.
It works fine for what I need to do, which is simple copy and paste and looking up web addresses. I don't know why I sounded like I was 7,000 years old when I said looking up web addresses. Craig Stammen, that's what we were going to talk about. And Craig Stammen yesterday, I want to hear about one of the clips is what he's learned over his first week. So let's hear from Craig Stammen on that.
I think the biggest thing is just learn to be yourself. And Randy keeps telling me, don't do it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't do it. That's what he keeps telling me, don't do it. And, I found some things that helped me move on from certain decisions that maybe could have went a different way, but you can always play the second guessing game. I'm second guessing myself probably more than anybody, but I think that's a healthy, and it helps me learn and then helps us make us better as we go.
One thing, and I know that people are going to disagree with me on this, but one thing I think that is great about Craig Stammen is that he truly is not the guy who's going to act like he knows everything. And I like that. We don't need an egotistical manager who's like, I've been doing baseball for 40 years and we're going to go with the bunt right now.
I've always said that the smartest person in the room knows that he's not the smartest person in the room.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Craig Stammen is certainly that guy. He's not afraid to ask for help, especially in this job too. You have to be open to asking for help, especially when you don't know. Now, of course, you do have to learn a little bit. You can't just rely on everyone else. But I don't mind that answer at all, especially for a guy who is a player, has never managed, never coached before. So I don't mind that answer at all.
Well, okay, so let's talk about what you did mind, because we were talking, and it's not a clip, but we were.
Oh, it is a clip.
Oh, it's a clip. Which one is it? The playing to their potential?
No. Who built the lineup?
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
I got to give credit to Randy Nora. This was his lineup. I said, I'm tired. I'm not working really well on this. And he goes, Gregor, that's good, because I had one already written up for you. So we're riding with Randy right now.
You still have to sign off on it, though, and Ramon in the 5 spot.
Yeah, we switched a couple around, but for the most part, it was his idea.
I love how AJ Castavel's just like, that's cool and everything, but Ramon's still in the 5th spot, okay? Like, why is he still in the 5th spot if we're doing something different with the lineup? That was a hilarious follow-up question, AJ Castavel. So what did you have a problem with there?
You're the manager of the team.
Okay.
Your offense has not played well.
Okay.
You are 1-4 with your lineups.
Okay. You
are now 1-0 with a lineup that you did not make, and you just had the best offensive performance of the season.
Yes,
that doesn't look great.
The evidence is pointing towards not great, but I mean, Craig Stammen in the end is the guy who's putting together the lineup.
Yes.
Honestly, I kind of feel like Craig Stammen knew how demanding this job was, but he didn't know how demanding this job was. Because he is, when you're the manager, I didn't realize all this, but you're dealing with the marketing department, you're dealing with the front office, you're dealing with the clubbies, you're dealing with everybody, and everybody needs you, and everybody needs you to do something for them. And he's going to have to really learn how to budget and manage his time. And I'm not saying that that's a problem now. Anyway, going back to what you said about saying that Randy came up with the lineup, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
it's a teamwork thing,
of course.
And I know that people are out there are going to be like, "Oh, well, he's not good enough to make the lineup. Then he's not good enough to be the manager."
Here's the thing, though. There are plenty of other teams where the bench coach or whoever makes the lineup,
or the GM,
or the general manager. I'm just saying. It was the best offensive performance of the season.
It was.
With the lineup, the
you know what he said? And Craig Stammen is smart. He said, "We're riding with Randy." So
yeah, exactly. So there you go.
That's a smart thing. He's seeing it, and he's like, "This is successful. We're going to do it again." And then AJ Castavel says, "Well, Ramon Laureano's still in the 5th spot, though."
Cole Brooks in the chat. I could care less as long as we win. He's learning, for Christ's sake. I know.
No,
I know, dude.
Yeah,
and we've said the same thing on the show. You're in here every single day, so we've said he's learning on the job.
SD Mike said, I would be annoyed if he was acting like he knows everything. I'm fine with him having someone else work on the lineup for now if he hasn't figured that out yet.
Right.
Hey, we could have Tony Vitello. I'm not saying he's I don't know how he's going to end up as a manager, but it's not been smooth sailing.
No, not for San Francisco.
There's been lots of criticism. There's been lots of what in the heck are the Giants doing? My friend, who's a massive, lifelong Giants fan, and he said, I'm done with Buster. Okay, be cool. Okay, what?
Fair enough, Cole. Fair enough.
Oh, he was talking to the
yeah,
I know Cole. Cole's a positive.
Exactly. And he's in here all the time, so we see him too.
All right, let Frank have his thought experiment.
Still not a member.
Did I shut down your thought experiment?
No, still not a member to the Braden Surprenant show page. Cole, by the way.
All right, so when we get back, the sports thread. Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese, filling in for Braden Surprenant here on 97.3 The Fan.
March to Madness is down to the Final Four. Saturday night, Arizona and Michigan go head-to-head in a battle of the paint. Arizona's relentless inside scoring and free throw dominance meets Michigan's elite defense and big play ability. Who controls the rim will likely control the game. Earlier, UConn faces Illinois, and its experience versus efficiency. Terrace Reed Jr. has carried the Huskies, but Illinois' defense and offensive firepower won't make it easy. This weekend, every possession counts. Every bucket matters. Can Arizona's paint power topple Michigan? Will UConn survive Illinois' strategic defense? One thing's for sure, the road to the championship is set, and it's going to be unforgettable. March Madness down to the Final Four, and what a weekend we have coming up. 4 teams remain, 2 matchups, and the chance for one team to etch their name in the NCAA tournament history books. Let's break it down with the storylines, the keys, and what to watch for this weekend. Arizona and Michigan is going to be the first game that we break down. Arizona and Michigan is actually the night game. Tip off at 8:49 p.m. Eastern time. So 5:49 out here on the West Coast on Saturday night. They have dominated the paint all season. The Arizona Wildcats have, averaging over 42 points per game in leading the nation in free throw attempts. In the tournament, their interior scoring has been unmatched. 60 paint points and 30 points at the line against Arkansas, and then 40 paint points and 20 points from free throws against Purdue in the Elite Eight. Koa Pete, Mateus Curvis, and Toba Awaka anchor the post, while Jaden Bradley, Braden Burries, and Karachnikov attack relentlessly. Coach Tommy Lloyd's philosophy is clear: control the paint, crash the glass, and get to the line. And for Arizona, that's been a big recipe for success, and that's going to be tough for Michigan to deal with on Saturday.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Michigan, on the other side of that, is a defensive powerhouse that can flip the game on a dime. Their Elite Eight win over Tennessee saw a 33-10 run in the first half, showcasing their ability to dominate when it matters. Offensively, they need to stretch Arizona's defense with perimeter shooting to open lanes for stars like Yaxel Lendenborg. But right now, I think the biggest question coming into this game is going to be, can the ultimate paint versus paint battle, will Arizona's dominance inside outweigh Michigan's defensive discipline, and can Lendenborg carry Michigan if it comes down to crunch time?
It's going to be a very big game. I think these are the 2 best teams in the country, playing each other in the semifinals, playing each other in the Final Four. I think Arizona has played a more difficult schedule. I think Arizona has been a little bit more battle-tested. Michigan has done a great job all season long. I think this is like such a close matchup. I got to roll with my Arizona Wildcats just because I grew up watching them for a long time. It'd be great to see them back in the national championship game. Again, they haven't made the Final Four since 2001. It's the first time in the Final Four since 2001. Should be a good day for the Arizona Wildcats and the Michigan Wolverines. Should be a fun game for both teams. Let's move on to the earlier game on Saturday. That will be at 6:09 p.m. Eastern time, 3:09 p.m. Pacific. It's the UConn Huskies and the Illinois Fighting Illini. What a dramatic comeback by UConn against Duke in the Elite Eight. It was fueled by the patience and experience of Terrace Reed Jr. and a core that has been in Dan Hurley's system for multiple years.
Yeah, absolutely. Reed's dominance inside the paint and clutch shot making have been the key. Illinois is one of the most efficient teams offensively in KenPom history and has been equally impressive on defense, limiting top opponents to under 48% inside the arc. The battle will come down to UConn containing Keaton Wagler, exploiting pockets in Illinois' defense and finding consistent shooting from their perimeter players like Alex Caravan, Solo Ball, and Braylon Mullins in this game for Illinois.
Yeah, the current tournament has highlighted a shift from that Cinderella era to now kind of dominated by a lot of the Blue Bloods at this point in time. So few upsets this year, but the quality of games has been really good still. I mean, that UConn Duke game was unbelievable. And Arizona and Michigan could be the tightest Final Four matchup of the weekend. I mean, you got strength on strength, big men versus big men, paint versus paint. Expect a low error, high intensity affair. And for UConn and Illinois, they present a strategic chess match of a game. Very patient teams, veteran-led Huskies versus a versatile, efficient Illini. The game could be decided by a few key possessions and defensive adjustments. You got 4 of the best teams in the country battling out in the Final Four. Should be a fun one this weekend. Of course, we'll talk about the
of the second hour of the Braden Surprenant show here on 97.3 The Fan. I'm Matt Skraby. That is Frank Marchese. Casey.
You're right the first time.
Marchese. We're watching the Twins and the Royals in studio right now. What did you just say?
No, I thought I had killed the music. I didn't.
Oh, we're watching the Royals and Twins in studio right now, and it is so windy, that the fountain at the Royal Stadium is blowing water into the cameras behind the fountain.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. If you watch the game on the hard camera, it looks like it's pouring rain there, but it's not. It's literally just the fountain getting blown back into the cameras.
I've never seen that.
Neither have I.
I mean, there's a bunch of dirt flying around. The umpire missed a call that we saw, and I swear that the wind took the ball because it was moving. Like, look, that ball right there, did it not look like it was moving a little bit faster inside? Yes. Because the wind is coming from, if you're looking at the batter, left to right. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on this, but that's kind of fun. I know that the Royals moved in their fences, but
yeah, as Braden calls it, the most irrelevant division in baseball.
The AL Central?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty irrelevant. I mean, they do have Bobby Witt Jr. now in the AL Central.
They've had him in the AL Central for a couple of years
now, buddy. Jose Ramirez in the AL Central.
They do.
That's the only players I could think of. The Pasquatch.
Pasquantino, yes.
We have Manataka Murakami.
Now,
White
yes.
Sox.
He's had a very good start to the season from what I've
read.
hit
A bunch of home runs to start the year. The rookies have been great. All right. So let's get into it. Chris. I just called you Chris. I am like in autopilot. Oh, I got a foul.
Skraby gets his first foul.
What happens when I get 3 fouls?
Oh, nothing.
Okay.
We say we foul out and we have to leave, but we know we can't do that.
Okay. All right. Head for the Mountains man says, I just want to shout out to the Padres for winning our first game of 2026. My kiddos are visiting from Fresno and we're driving up to Yosemite Sunday.
Nice.
Yosemite is an amazing place. It's great. I love Yosemite. Went there in 2nd grade to do an overnight camp.
Enjoy.
It was fun. All right, Frank.
Yes.
Let's get into the sports thread.
You know that group chat, the one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me.
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk.
All right, so we head first here.
Number 1.
We head to Chicago to discuss a team that is known as
The Bears. The Bears.
The Bears are targeting a decision by late spring or early summer on where to build their new stadium, according to team president Kevin Warren, as pressure mounts from Roger Goodell to finalize plans. The team is choosing between a domed stadium in Arlington Heights, where it already owns land, and a potential site in Hammond with tax incentives playing a major role in the decision. Ongoing issues with Illinois property tax uncertainty have slowed progress, while Indiana offers clearer financial terms despite the possibility of moving out of state. Chairman George McCaskey expressed confidence that fans will adjust, similar to other franchises that have relocated nearby.
It's just so easy, huh?
Should
The Bears. The Bears.
prioritize financial incentives over tradition when deciding where to build their next stadium?
Should they? No. Should they keep it close to the downtown Chicago area? Yes.
I believe it's like right on the opposite
Soldier
side
Field?
of the Illinois. No, where the plan in Hammond is. It's like right on the opposite side of the Illinois-Indiana border, and it's actually still pretty doggone close to Chicago.
It is, but I will say this. The 49ers chose to go with the money over go with the fanship because they moved 30-something miles down from San Francisco to Santa Clara. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but you go and drive that 35 miles and you tell me how long it takes you, because it is a tough drive. But the Bears are Chicago, and I am just over owners who do not care what the fans want. They just care how much money they're going to make. And so should they prioritize financial incentives as a business? Probably, but I feel like professional sports franchises should operate a little bit different.
I agree 100%. And Juan Ruiz had a great idea in the chat.
Build it in San Diego.
Build it in San Diego.
Yeah, it'll take us like 9 years to get the. This dirt is not okay to build on.
Hey, go to Chula Vista. They're
true. They're popping up stuff all over the place.
Yeah, they're pushing that plan right on through.
Number 2.
J.C. Tretter and the NFL Players Association pushed back strongly against the National Football League's contingency plans to use replacement referees, arguing that player safety depends on experienced professional officials. As negotiations with NFL Referees Association continues ahead of the May 31st CBA deadline, the league has begun preparing replacement crews and approved centralized officiating support from New York, from its New York command center. However, Tretter emphasizes that real-time on-field decision-making cannot be replicated by less experienced officials or remote oversight, warning that missed or delayed calls could increase injury risks, an opinion echoed by the NFLRA leadership. Do you agree that using replacement referees would put players' safety at risk, or can technology and centralized oversight make up the difference?
I think using replacement referees would make the NFL joke. At this point, you are the biggest professional sports organization in the world. And I guess you could argue with some of the European soccer clubs, or leagues, but the NFL is everywhere. You cannot skimp by paying for replacement referees. We've said this on Gwynn and Chris many times. The one picture that should be showed to the NFL every time they talk about this is the Fail Mary in Seattle on Monday Night Football, when the replacement refs, one of them said touchdown, one of them said incomplete at the same time. Neither one of them knew what the heck to do. And so it was a disaster for them.
Do you want to feel old right now?
Sure.
That was in 2012.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't think it was that long ago.
I was 26.
That was 2012. Wow.
Anyway, wow. That does make me feel old. It also makes me feel old when like my friends' kids are now becoming 13 and 4. I'm what is happening to my life here? I do think I like that they would do the technology thing where they would be able to drop a flag if they need to. I think they need to keep that regardless, because if there is a roughing the passer penalty that's not called, they can say, hey, there should have been a penalty there. Or they can pick up the flag if they look at the replay and they see that it's not as bad as the referee said. I think those parts of it could help, but I do not think replacement referees will help at all.
No, I don't think so either. But yeah, it's an interesting thing about the player safety thing as well, because if they miss a hit, if the centralized officials miss it, then someone's going to think they could do it again and possibly get somebody hurt. So
and not to mention, like, they're using not SEC referees, they're using like Division 2 and 3 referees, because the SEC referees probably get paid more than they probably get paid well enough, and SEC doesn't want to give up their refs, but the NFL has to figure this out before the season, because it's a joke if they go into the year with replacement referees.
I think they will, because the PTSD from the fan base is going to force them to.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Number 3.
All right. Do you want to stick with the NFL, or do you want to go to golf?
Is that a question? It's golf, baby.
Tiger Woods announced that he is stepping away from golf to seek treatment and focus on his health just days after his arrest on suspicion of DUI following a rollover crash in Florida. Woods said he understands the seriousness of the situation, is prioritizing his recovery while also entering a not guilty plea and waiving his upcoming arraignment. The 15-time major champion has been out working towards a possible return at the Masters this year, but will now miss the event as he steps away. Despite his recent legal issues and ongoing injury history, Woods emphasized his commitment to improving both personally and professionally during this time. How do you think his latest setback will affect his chances of returning to competitive golf in the future?
How do I think? Hey, this isn't a setback. This is a whole new deal.
And you're seeing now the body camera footage and the inside the cop car footage start to come out now. It's not looking good for old T. Gray.
It's not. I've said this a couple times. This has really affected me because, as Chris has said, everyone feels this way. But for me, growing up as a kid who wanted to be a professional golfer, who watched everything, Tiger Woods was my hero.
Yeah.
And as a guy who doesn't drink anymore, and as a guy who's made plenty of mistakes due to substances, I hope that he gets the help that he needs. But I do not think he'll come back to competitive golf. And I say that I don't. Let me say it this way: he may enter a tournament down the road, but I don't think he needs to. I don't think he should. I don't think any of that. He needs to focus on his life right now. And you're right. Body cam has come out. It's not a great picture that's being painted. And I hope that Tiger has to pay is a harsh word. He has to pay for what he did.
And also an angle of this that I just now thought about, there's someone else that's coming up through the golf ranks, his son.
Yes.
Who
Charlie
may have to answer questions about this.
He's going to.
So if I'm Tiger, I'm taking this opportunity to just completely disappear from the public spotlight.
I agree. Get out of the public spotlight. Get yourself to a place where you could just focus on you and actually do it.
Yeah.
Because
it's not just affecting him anymore. It's affecting his son too now. It's going to.
Yes. And I don't want to say, because obviously I don't know the situation, but one of the reports in the police report was that Tiger was sweating profusely with air conditioning on. And when you're dealing with someone who is on opiates, and again, I am not a doctor or an expert or know about Tiger, but in my experience with people and myself, when you withdraw from opiates, you sweat profusely. And he had opiates in his pocket. He said he looked down at his phone. All of that is going to come out. Either way, this is bad for Tiger Woods, and I hope that he can understand it. It's bad.
Absolutely.
Number 4.
Pittsburgh Steelers owner Art Rooney II said the team expects a decision from Aaron Rodgers about his future by the NFL draft later this month, as the franchise looks to resolve its ongoing uncertainty at quarterback. Rodgers, who spent last season in Pittsburgh, has been taking his time as a free agent and remains in communication with Coach Mike McCarthy, though no firm timeline has been set publicly. Meanwhile, the Steelers are keeping their options open, including potentially drafting a quarterback as they await clarity on what the 4-time MVP will do. Should the Steelers wait on Rodgers' decision or move forward with a long-term plan regardless of the choice?
Move forward.
Yes.
Because this guy does this the last at least 2 years that I can remember, maybe even 3. And he goes on this ayahuasca trip and he asks whatever while he's doing the ayahuasca thing. He's like, should I keep playing football? Oh, they're offering me $40 million. Yes, I should keep playing football. I think they need to move. If he wants to come back, fine. But you need to draft someone here. You need to plan for the future, because even if Aaron Rodgers does come back this year, he's not someone that you can count on for the next 5 years. Maybe not even someone you can count on for next year. So come on, Steelers. You need to move forward. Stop playing Aaron Rodgers' game.
And they just missed the playoffs with him. So it's not like
they made the playoffs.
Oh yeah, that's right, they did.
And they got crushed.
They
on
just made the
Monday
playoffs.
Night Football by the Texans.
So it's not like a guy he's going to help you get through. Like
True.
He's not the final piece anymore.
he's a serviceable starting quarterback, but he is not going to win you a Super Bowl on his own.
No, absolutely not.
All right, that is it for the sports thread. When we get back, we'll recap everything that's happened today in sports and more Padres talk on 97.3 The Fan.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
I feel like I need a crown after that whole thing plays. Can we next time record something that says Skraby instead of Braden when those people are like congratulating? Because it would make me feel better. It would make me feel better about myself. If you could just be like, Skraby, he's really got a good thing going on. That would be kind of funny. Frank Marchese here with me. 97.3 The Fan. Braden Surprenant back on Monday. He is headed to a Padres game in Boston, so that's kind of cool. I'm sure he'll have a full report for everyone when he gets back next week. But we have had a pretty fast and furious couple hours here on the show. We talked to Boston Red Sox broadcaster Will Flemming about the Red Sox, and let's just say the Red Sox fan base sounds a little bit more depressed than the Padres fan base. So that's a good thing. They went 1-5 in their first 6 games. They're going to be going for opening day tomorrow. Boston is. So it's always an emotional game. Is this the same thing as, is it called Patriots Day? The Boston Marathon?
I don't. No, those are on the same day. It's two different things.
Okay, so it's opening day and then something else when they do the Boston Marathon and all that. So yeah, that's where the Padres are headed. Actually, they're there right now.
Patriots Day is on the 3rd Monday of April.
Oh, okay, so a little bit.
So then let me.
Because I know that they have some special thing for Patriots Day.
Boston Marathon is on the same day.
Okay, that makes sense. So they're not going to have all of that pomp and circumstance in Boston. They're just going to have the opening day stuff in Boston. Mime Jr. says, nobody says anything nice about Frank despite him being a swell dude.
Yeah, that's Juan Ruiz. He's usually making fun of me in the chat.
Oh, okay. Frank is a swell dude.
Thank you.
Come on, man. SD Mike says, oh man, if the Padres lost yesterday, our fans would probably be on the Boston level. Some of them are still there. Let me tell you, some of them are still there. I don't understand the anger so early on in a season, and I know it. Even when I say it, I hate saying it. It's still early. But there's literally no other way to look at it.
We said, when do you stop using it's too early as an excuse?
Okay,
because
I've asked
Braden
this
and I
before.
both said it yesterday.
Okay, what's your definition before I give mine?
End of the first month.
So 30 games.
End of April, yeah.
Okay, that's what I think too.
Okay,
30 games.
There you go.
I think 30 games is a good enough amount of time to figure out what this lineup's all about, figure out where this lineup needs to be. Figure out who they are as a team, and 30 games I think is it. But you can't, and even Tony and Chris have told me, you can't be worried about missing the playoffs unless you're like really, really bad.
Yeah.
Until like August 1st.
That's fair.
Because you have 2 months left after that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I understand why people are unhappy with the way things have started, but there are certain people last year, Frank, that were somehow unhappy with the way that the Padres started 7-0. They're later in the year.
Well, they were only in the playoffs because they won those games 7 games at the beginning of the season. So if they didn't win those, then they won't be in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they did win those, and they did make the playoffs.
I heard someone say, I said it yesterday, that the Padres going 7-0 last year was an anomaly. And I got the response of, that's the only reason why we made the playoffs. I'm like,
it's
brother,
not though.
I'm like, brother,
it is and it isn't.
But that's not what anomaly means, though.
Oh yeah, anomaly
means it's out of the ordinary.
Yes, it's not something that happens often. You're right. Look at all the teams. There's no undefeated teams in baseball. It just does not happen. Like you might be able to go 10-0, but you're not going to go 20-0. You're not going to go 30-0. Baseball teams lose. They lose, people. SD Mike again says 30 games is probably it. So we can still say it's early, Frank.
Yeah, it's
for the next 30 games.
Yeah, exactly.
Or for actually 24 games.
Yeah. It stops being early at the end of April.
Yes. The Padres are going to face some pitchers from the Red Sox, obviously, but they're not going to be able to face, or they're not going to face Garrett Crochet. So that's a good thing. But they are going to face the rookie Connolly early, and he had a pretty good start when he made his first start this year. So we haven't seen him yet. We don't really know what we're going to get from him yet. Randy Vasquez is Michael King's tomorrow night. That's correct, right, Frank? Have they officially announced that Michael King being tomorrow night? Because I don't know if the Padres have officially announced. I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen anything like official from the team. Like this is our thing, but that's what MLB.com has.
MLB.com has it. So does ESPN has it as well. So you know what? We're gonna say tentatively Michael King, but I don't see it going in any other direction. But he's gonna face Sonny Gray tomorrow. Game is at 11:10 a.m. Then on Saturday, 1:10 p.m. game, Randy Vasquez against Connolly early. And then this is kind of a revenge game for Walker Buehler, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, a little bit.
He's going to start Sunday against Ron Hair Suarez.
That camera looks
oh my
so
gosh.
bad.
The Twins and the Royals, you can't even see the play because the wind is so bad. The fountains are blowing mist into the cameras.
The clearest thing about that was the strike box, was the strike zone box.
That is kind of funny. But I mean,
that one was particularly bad.
Yeah,
and by
when you
the way,
see highlights later, you'll laugh.
Yeah, by the way, that's the
squirrel. Oh, totally. Oh man, we need that for
full squirrel moment.
We need that for Chris, honestly. We need that for Chris and myself. I have to put myself in there as well. But yeah, so Walker Buehler, Ron Hair Suarez. Walker Buehler left Boston, I think, a little ticked off. I think they kind of gave up on him. He didn't pitch well. That is for sure. So he didn't give people things to cheer about.
Buehler?
Yeah.
We've had this debate on the show, and I'm more in agreement with Braden. You're looking at Buehler and Marquez as kind of like 5A and 5B in the starting rotation. And the average number 5 pitcher gave you 5 innings, 3 runs last year. So Buehler pitched 4 innings, 3 runs. He came up an inning short of what the average number 5 starter would give you. And I would agree with the fact that it didn't look great. And I think part of that has to do with the offense not being there to help him out.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he gave up 3 runs, but maybe he gave up 4 runs. I think
he gave up 3. It was four innings, 3 runs.
Oh, 4 innings, 3 runs.
4 innings, 3 runs.
I mean, Walker Buehler, all you got to ask from your starter is to give you a chance to win.
Yeah.
Walker Buehler gave them a chance to win on Monday night. And you're right. It did not look great. It did not look clean. But I also think that Walker Buehler is still trying to find who he is in this part of his career. And we heard it many times in spring training from him after starts. And that's that he's trying to figure out how to be a guy who can pitch without throwing a 98, 99 mile an hour fastball. And that's going to take a little bit of time. He's working with Ruben Niebla. It seems like he's open to the changes. It seems like he's working hard on these changes. For some reason in my head, I give Walker Buehler a way longer go than Germán Marquez.
Yeah, and we've said it constantly is that he now has to be a brains over brawn pitcher. He's not going to be able to throw that 99 to 100 miles an hour. So he's going to have to think about how to get these guys out. And the way we're kind of looking at it is it's an extended tryout for both him and Marquez. So Buehler really only has to be better than German Marquez until Griffin Canning comes back, which sounds like it's going to be sooner rather than later. And then he's going to have to really pitch up against everyone else in the rotation for when Joe Musgrove is ready to come back, because that's when the next bell tolls on who's going to be in the rotation, is when your $20 million man comes back.
Yeah. Joe's going to come back. I don't expect to see Joe for a little bit, not because I don't think he's had a major setback or anything. I think they're trying to pull like a Blake Snell type of thing where they really technically don't need him right this moment, but he could come up later. He could be fresh. I don't think they planned on him starting the year on the IL. I thought maybe they would have him throw a couple games, then see how he's doing. But I don't think that he is going to be out for the entire year or anything like that. They're not giving us any of that indication, which really means nothing. But at the same time, you have to factor him in as a guy who's coming back at some point.
Yeah, they're also not really giving us any information, period, about what's going on with Joe Musgrove, whether or not he's going to be coming back in May, or if it's going to be in June, or if it's more of an all-star break kind of thing. We know that there are a couple of guys coming back in the pitching staff soon. We know Griffin Canning, as we mentioned yesterday, is going to be pitching either in AA or AAA, depending upon which report you read, coming up this weekend. You know that Jason Adam is going to be itching to come back as soon as possible. So there are roster decisions that need to be made. And right now, you're looking at Walker Buehler as, I just have to be better than German Marquez.
Yeah.
Then when Griffin Canning comes back, then the fight for him or for Marquez, if Buehler just completely blows out, then you're looking at fighting against the rest of your rotation.
You are. We'll see how that goes. I mean, the first three are solid right now.
Yeah.
You got Pivetta, Vasquez, King.
Little shaky. Pivetta definitely was
made you feel a lot better yesterday.
Yes, he definitely calmed some nerves down. 5 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks.
That 1 hit is kind of like it goes under the radar.
Yeah.
Because I felt like there was traffic yesterday, and he did walk a couple guys, but there wasn't that much traffic yesterday.
82 pitches too.
Yeah.
So he's getting up there, and I'm sure later on in the season he'll be throwing more pitches. He'll be getting closer to 100. He will have gotten 6 innings. But the thing that I'm seeing is that Padre pitchers not able to get outs. You saw it a lot yesterday when Pivetta had 2 strike counts, just fouling balls off. It was hard for them to get outs. And I said it, I think it was yesterday. Tarek Skubal threw 4 innings on opening day, had the same amount of pitches as Ron Marinaccio had through 2.
Oh.
So the Padres pitchers are really throwing a lot of pitches, which I think that would be the biggest concern that I have about the rotation right now. Is they're having trouble getting guys out, it seems.
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of the opening season.
Oh yeah,
rust,
for sure.
Just a little bit. I don't want to keep defaulting to it's still early, but like it is still early. Outside of the pitchers, you have Jason Adam, who's going to come back at some point. Thinking around April 6th is when he's back, or he's eligible to be back. He's April 6th or 7th.
He will be eligible to come back by the homestand. I know that.
Okay. And he'll likely, as long as everything goes well with his rehab outings, I think he'll be back as well. So you got to think about who's moving out of the bullpen. Maybe Marinaccio, maybe I wouldn't say Bradley Rodriguez. I feel like they want him to show a little bit more. So I think it may be Marinaccio.
I don't know if they're going to hold what happened on Tuesday night against him, because they threw him in kind of the same way they threw
Bradley.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way they threw Kyle Hart, or was it Kyle Hart?
Yeah. Well, Jeremiah Stroud on Friday.
No, with the bases already. Oh, Wandy Peralta. The way they threw Wandy Peralta in with the bases already loaded, and he gave up those runs. So I don't know if they're going to hold that against him. I would think you're going to look at one who has options to go down, which let me see. I if I remember correctly, Ron Marinaccio does not.
I believe you're right. And when we're saying options, meaning they can't be sent to the minor leagues, they have to
correct
go through waivers.
Yeah, Ron Marinaccio does not have any options left.
That does make the decision a little bit more complicated.
And Bradley Rodriguez has 2, so it
might be him.
It would probably be Rodriguez.
And you have to think Yuki Matsui's coming back soon at some point. He's got an oblique thing. I know he's out in there. I never understood this until I worked in this business, but being hurt is awful in sports because you know what Yuki Matsui is doing while these guys are playing actual baseball games? He's out doing extended spring training in Arizona. That sounds awful.
So bad.
That sounds awful. So when you think, oh, these guys love being hurt because they don't have to do anything, life is much worse when you are on the injured list than when you are actually active. Because when you're active, you could do something for them, and they need you to do something for them.
Let's pull up the old AccuWeather. Let's pull
the
up the
AccuWeather 5000.
Yeah, the AccuJesse 3000.
Okay.
Let's
oh,
see
it's
here.
only the 3000. I thought we had a.
Oh, is it a 5000? I'm sorry. I must be on an older. I must have stolen the
Jesse
older
didn't give
system.
you the license on the
no,
5000.
Okay, it's not bad. 81 degrees, feels like 89 in Peoria today.
Feels like 89. That's what? That's humid. That's humid.
Saturday 91, Sunday 95, Monday 91, 93.
I'm not worried about the weather.
No, I'm just saying, would you rather be in the hundreds in Peoria hurt, or would you rather be in the 70s and 80s in San Diego playing Major League Baseball games?
Oh, they're going to be in the 30s playing baseball this week.
That's true. Yes.
So I guess you could say I'm okay with this trip, taking this trip off. All right. SD Mike again. You have some funny stuff today, SD Mike. Unless you're Anthony Rendon, that too loves the IL. When we get back, I was going to get to this, but Ramon Laureano, we have to talk about him. He is our savior right now. He is the only guy hitting for power on this team, and we'll discuss how important he is when we get back here. Braden, Surprenant, Matt Skraby filling in 97.3 The Fan.
Playoff season is heating up. Buffalo Sabres are back in the postseason for the first time in 14 years, and the city is ready to erupt. Minnesota Wild are entering a golden era with Quinn Hughes and Kirill Kaprizov, while Columbus Blue Jackets could surprise with a breakout season. Don't sleep on the Islanders' Matthew Schaefer, a rookie ready to shake things up, and Macklin Celebrini Sharks may sneak in for a first-round upset. On the MVP front, Connor McDavid leads, but Kucherov and McKinnon are right on his tail. And let's be honest, the best part, even if your team isn't in, there's still a ton of playoff storylines to cheer for. Hockey fans, get ready. This is going to be fun. All right, hockey fans, welcome back. We have been zooming in on the NHL playoff picture, looking at which teams are making waves, who's creeping into the spotlight, and what to watch as we approach the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs. Even if your team isn't in, there's still plenty of action to keep you glued to the ice.
Yeah, absolutely. The Buffalo Sabres right now have a 99.9% chance of making the postseason. First time in 14 years that Buffalo is finally back in the playoff picture, and this city has been starving for success. The streets around KeyBank Center are going to be absolutely electric. Any fan not cheering for the Buffalo Sabres this May might be hard to find. On the other side, you have the Minnesota Wild, who also have a 99.9% chance of making the playoffs. Quinn Hughes and Kirill Kaprizov leading what feels like a golden era in Minnesota for the Wild. The Central Division Gauntlet will test them, but the potential is there for them to have a deep run into the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Columbus Blue Jackets have a 68.3% chance of making the playoffs. Less postseason success historically, but the 2025 Stadium Series showed hockey's heartbeat in Ohio. Johnny Gaudreau's presence and the donkey hat moments could make this team a fan favorite. The New York Islanders, 62.4% chance of making the postseason. Rookie Matthew Schaefer is the real story. Imagine if he leads a first-year Cup final run. I'm sure Frank Marchese would be excited about that for the Islanders.
18-year-old kid with about 50 points and 20-plus goals in his NHL rookie season. That's pretty insane.
San Jose Sharks, 40.4% chance. Macklin Celebrini star power makes them exciting to watch. They might sneak into the playoffs and face the Avalanche. Upsets are possible. We'll see about that with the Sharks going against the Avs, who have been absolutely lights out all season long. But this is the fun part for hockey fans whose teams aren't in it. Cheering for a narrative, a breakout star, a city that hasn't tasted playoff joy in years. Bandwagon hopping never felt this compelling in the NHL. But that being said, it just shows you how fun hockey playoffs are because people want to be a part of it, even if their favorite team is not.
Yeah, we talked about it last year. One of the first guests that we had on the show together last year when we were paired up together was Don LaGreca, who's now the play-by-play guy for the New Jersey Devils, and had so much passion when we had him on talking about the NHL playoffs and the series that were coming up. We have plenty of our listeners say, like, listen, I wasn't really into this, but hearing that and hearing how excited and how passionate it was, it got me into it. And now I'm watching hockey on a consistent basis. So it is very, very fun. There is no other playoff that can hold a candle to the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs.
We got a lot of big games this week, too. Detroit will play Pittsburgh, Ottawa versus Florida. The Buffalo Sabres are taking on the Senators. Wild and Sabres, tight wild card races on the Eastern Front. Blue Jackets and Carolina Hurricanes are a tough test for Columbus, and the Boston Bruins road trip, Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning will challenge their consistency. These games will shape playoff seeding and give us a preview of who's peaking at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. And also looking also at the trophy matchups as well, the awards battles, if you will, the Hart Trophy or the MVP award. Connor McDavid still leading the NHL in scoring at 124 points, followed closely by Nikita Kucherov at 121 and Nathan McKinnon at 117. Now, it might come down to points, but narrative always matters. And McDavid's consistency versus Kucherov's hot streaks is a debate that we will be having all the way through the playoffs as we look to find out who the Hart Memorial Trophy winner will be.
Yeah, so there was a couple of fun social media highlights over the week in the NHL. Penguins AHL affiliate.
Matt Skraby coming into an interesting bed. I liked how it got into it, but I was like, Frank, they're not speaking English. They're just mumbling. Is that mumble rap?
Dude, I don't know, man.
Okay. All right. I thought that was mumble rap.
I'm not hip with the youths, so I don't know.
Oh, man, if one of us has to be, and you're closer to the youth than I am. I'm closer to 1 foot in the grave than you are. Okay? Almost 41 years old. This noon lunch hour is brought to you by the Craft Taco. Bold flavors at 2 locations, Serena Valley and inside Balboa Park's Natural History Museum.
I'm waiting for the tacos. Where the damn tacos at?
I'm feeling you, bro. I don't know who that is, but I love it.
It was Jeremiah Estrada.
Play it again.
From the playoffs.
I'm waiting for the tacos. Where the damn tacos at?
I need that as my on my phone, so I can just play that everywhere I go. I love
It was from the playoffs.
tacos.
It was from the clubhouse celebration last year.
He's not wrong. Where were the tacos?
2 years ago.
Where were the tacos, Frank? I did not see them down there. I would have gladly had a couple tacos if I could have snuck my way into the line. Frank and I are broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, where we know how. We're going to talk probably in the 1 o'clock hour. We're going to talk about this growing trend of major league teams signing prospects to big deals before they even make their debut. I also have to give Frank a he's not a fan of the Matt Chapman topic, but we're going to talk about Matt Chapman's things that he said to Casey Schmidt yesterday, and we'll see how he feels about it, because we talked about it on the roundtable. Had no idea it was going to turn into what it turned into, which is Ben was really against this. I mean, Woods was against it too, but Ben was really against this. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Casey Schmidt had a really tough day yesterday. Matt Chapman, as they come over to the mound for a mound visit, he looks at him and he says, "Catch the bleeping ball," but he did not say bleeping, and he said it twice. So we'll talk.
Made it obvious too.
He did. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But Ramon Laureano, let's talk about him. If Ramon Laureano does not hit the 2 home runs that he hit so far this season, the Padres would have 1 home run. Jackson Merrill would be the only guy with a home run for the Padres. They need to find Slug quickly. And now, they're going on the road and they are going to some cold places. I'm not sure if we're going to see the Slug on this road trip, but they need to figure it out, because Ramon Laureano is not going to hit 40 home runs. He's not going to hit 35 home runs. I would say he hits anywhere between 20 and 25 home runs, but he cannot sit going forward until they find someone else who can hit, because he absolutely has to be in the lineup. And one of the other questions topics that we talked about in the roundtable this morning, the Epic Wings roundtable. We have a great sponsor, Epic Wings, who brought in food for us and will be with us all season long on the roundtable.
Tommy want wingy.
That was weird. I don't want that one ever again. Please.
You don't like Tommy Boy?
I do, but
Tommy want wiggy.
I guess it is Tommy Boy.
Tommy want wiggy.
Please stop saying that. Please stop saying that. Ramon Laureano. Let's go back to Ramon Laureano, and that was a topic. Squirrel, play the squirrel thing, because I just squirreled. Squirrel. The topic was, should he be moved higher up in the lineup because he's hitting right now, and he's in the 5th spot. Mostly 5th or 6th. I actually think he's in the perfect spot. I don't think you're going to move him down into the top 4 of the lineup. Who are you going to move back to 5th? I guess you could say Xander. You're going to move Xander back to the 5th spot and put Ramon Laureano. I know that some people are saying that he should be the leadoff hitter, but he's the best power guy at the moment. So you don't want your leadoff hitter to be your best power guy. I think you leave him where he is in the lineup, because I've said this, and I don't know that people really agree, but I don't think hitting lower in the lineup is a bad thing. I want guys that are good hitters in the back of the lineup. I want guys who are going to make it hard on the pitcher. We've seen for a couple years, sometimes that 7, 8, 9 spot for the Padres is a black hole, and everybody just gets out. So I would like Ramon Laureano to be in the 5th spot, because he has those 4 guys ahead of him that can get on base and he can drive in. But bottom line is, they need to hit more home runs. They need to hit more doubles. They need to take advantage of Petco Park in the gaps that the park has. But Frank, Ramon Laureano, do you think the 5th spot is the best spot for him?
I think the only way you can move him to the 4 spot in the lineup is if you're going to have some trio of Fernando, Merrill, and Manny. Then that kind of opens the door for Laureano to move up into that 4 spot, which I don't mind. He's been your best hitter by far so far in this season. He's shown some power, especially going into left field with the wind, the way Petco Park has been all series, going from left to right. So he's hitting big home runs into the wind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a way that you have to try to kind of finagle him into the best possible position that you can find for him right now. And if that means moving Jackson Merrill back, then that's what that means. If that means moving Xander Bogaerts back, then that's what that means. So I'm not opposed to seeing him hitting in the top 4, especially with the way he started. As Craig Stammen said after the game yesterday, he started off very, very well.
Let's play that.
You kind of talked what our debate was too of where we wanted to hit him in the lineup, and definitely could be up higher in the lineup the way he's swinging the bat right now, and our hottest hitter, and coming up behind Manny with that big 2-run homer there in the 8th was a huge hit, and his just energy, overall good at bats are just good for our team, and could definitely warrant an opportunity higher up in the lineup.
I can't believe anything that's said about the lineup because I was led to believe that Fernando was going to clean up. And I'm making this seem like it was personally vindictive towards me. It wasn't obviously personally vindictive towards me, but it was very annoying to see Fernando basically clean up all of spring training. And then the first game, the lineup comes down. I'm like, oh, let's see Fernando. What? Wait, what?
He only hit leadoff once in spring training this year. He hit leadoff twice in spring training the year before that.
But he went to the WBC, hit leadoff, and everybody wanted him back in the leadoff spot.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is he hit leadoff twice in spring training last year, and he was the leadoff hitter all last year. So spring training really.
Oh, I see what you
haven't. You really haven't been able to use spring training as the leverage point, or that kind of to be able to the predictor to see where he's going to hit in the lineup.
I want to see him lower in the lineup. I know that people love him at the first spot. And you know what? Chris brought up a point today that I think we should all talk about, and is Fernando as big of a hitter as we think he is? If you look at his stats, he's still a great hitter. Don't get me wrong. He's hitting 20 home runs. He's stealing bases. He's hitting for power. But is he
the 40 home run?
Is
guy
he the
anymore?
Kyle Schwarber of the lineup? And that I don't think is true anymore.
He hasn't shown it.
He hasn't. And I don't know if that's because of where he's hitting in the lineup, or if that's because he's just struggling with his swing, or if it's because this is the Fernando that he is, which again, great baseball player, but I think all of us think of him as a superstar. And
I wouldn't even say a superstar. I think a megastar would probably be more
megastar being higher than superstar.
Yes.
Yeah, he's one of the guys in the game that kids love to emulate, and they know about him.
A face of the league type.
He is a face of the league. And when things are going well for Fernando, he's exciting. He's fun. He is, I need to see more of that. And I just don't see more of that. I don't see enough of that from Fernando. And I'm not saying that he has no energy or he doesn't care, because I know that's a huge thing out there right now. This team doesn't care. They do care. I know that Fernando cares, but I need to see a little bit more from him early in the season, because last year, he started off MVP, Frank. We were like, this dude, finally, Fernando's back. And then he went through about a 2.5 month stretch where it was a struggle.
Well, and again, he also had all those off the field issues last year as well, with the lawsuit and everything like that. So
yeah.
that also does weigh on you a little bit.
It does.
So it is concerning that he was so good, so hot during the World Baseball Classic. Manny too. And they've just come back and they've just laid a dud. Now, granted, a lot of the players that the Dominican Republic saw as far as pitching was concerned, they were not major league starters.
That's where I was going to go with.
They were minor leaguers, if that.
Yeah.
So they were taking advantage of poor pitchers, which you're supposed to do as the upper echelon star of the major leagues. So it is disheartening for sure. But I would also say to any fan out there, it's not because of a lack of effort. It's not because of a lack of care. It's not because of a lack of trying.
I agree. It's not because of any of those things. I was just, what I'm going to do in the break? I'm going to look up who they faced and see how many major league pitchers Fernando faced in the World Baseball Classic. We also have Actually, let me get back to my document. Frank has put together a great document.
We have the midday sports standoff coming up.
The midday sports standoff is coming up, everybody. I just figured that one out. So Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese, back here shortly.
San Diego baseball just flipped the script. They're not chasing the Big West anymore. They're leading it. The Tritons just swept UC Davis on the road, now sit at 8-1 in conference and alone in first place. And it's not just wins, it's how they're doing it. Power hitting, dominant pitching, and even grinding out close games like that 3-2 win on Saturday. That's what contenders do. But here's the real question. Can they handle being the top team now? Because it's one thing to surprise people. It's another to stay on top when everyone's coming after you. They've got Hawaii up next, and we find out just how good UCSD is. And if UCSD is not just hot, if this is for real, a big series for the Tritons. This week belonged to UCSD Tritons baseball, and they didn't just win. They took over the Big West as they swept the UC Davis Aggies on the road and improved themselves to 8-1 in conference play, and now moving into sole possession of first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Friday set the tone, a 9-4 win behind a dominant outing from Steele Murdoch. 12 strikeouts, just 5 innings, nearly a program record, plus 3 home runs from a red-hot lineup. Then on Saturday, it showed a different side, a gritty 3-2 win where pitching and late execution really carried them. In a game they probably don't win earlier on in this season. And Sunday just closed it right out. Didn't need to worry. A 9-5 win using patience at the plate, timely hitting, and clutch bullpen work to secure a UC Davis series sweep.
The team is evolving, right? I mean, at the beginning of the season, it was, can they compete in the Big West? And now it's, are they the best team in the Big West right now? Because they're not just winning. They're winning in multiple ways. They are getting the multi-homer games with their power hitting. They are getting elite strikeout pitching with the 16 strikeouts they had on Friday. They're getting situational execution, which was the Saturday grinded out win. That's what good teams do. That's what contenders do. And for the baseball team. Now, Cal Poly's good. UCSB is good. UC Irvine has traditionally been good. These are the teams that they still yet to play in Big West play, but they're off to a really good start. They've built themselves a cushion now to get themselves a good seed for the Big West tournament. It's the second year of the Big West tournament in baseball. And this year it's going to be hosted at UC Irvine, and the winner of that tournament is going to be in the NCAA tournament in a regional. But you rack up wins now. If you're UCSD, maybe you don't need that tournament to make a regional. Maybe you could do it as an large team. But we've had a lot of key performers this week for UCSD baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. Steele Murdoch, 12 strikeouts, near record performance for UC San Diego. Anthony Potestio, 4 extra base hits on Friday. Gabe Camacho, his 9th home run of the season, which puts him in the top tier in the conference. Bullpen, lockdown innings all weekend. It is a deep roster, and guys are stepping up every single game and doing it in different ways as well.
On the other side, though, in softball, it's been kind of a tough stretch for the Tritons. They played Long Beach State over the weekend. They lost 6-5 on Friday after fighting back. They were swept in a Saturday doubleheader, 11-2 and 4-2, and they're now 2-10 in Big West play. And the biggest issue, of course, it seems to be a recurring theme, is closing games and stopping big innings. They've shown the fight. They have multiple comebacks. They have late homers, but they're struggling to finish games. Yeah,
unfortunately for them, it just has not been the run through conference play that they have needed or wanted. 2-10 start in Big West Conference play, really, really tough to take. And now they're going to be playing. Actually, I believe. Oh, I don't have their next opponent on here. It's an oversight on my part. Baseball is playing Hawaii, though.
Baseball is playing Hawaii coming up next. I will say this, though. There was some news this week about UCSD in their athletic department. Their soccer team, UCSD men's soccer, will be competing in the Pac-12.
There you go.
In the new Pac-12 in just soccer. So that's an interesting move right there by UCSD to join the Pac-12. Now, the Pac-12 is a conference that, we know what they have for the 8 teams for football, and then the 9 teams for basketball, but there's a lot of other sports that need additional teams. So UCSD is jumping in men's soccer. So congratulations to them joining the Pac-12. Now, in terms to put this thing to bed, UCSD baseball now the team to beat in the Big West. Right now it is, but they do have to deal with Cal Poly and UCSB. Those are the 2 teams that were at the top of the leaderboard in the Big West. They're 8-1 in conference play right now. The Tritons are in baseball. They're sweeping series. They're showing balance across the board. But the reality is, being the top team brings pressure, and now every opponent is circling UCSD on the schedule, including teams that were expected to win the conference. UC Irvine's not playing that well as of right now, but they're a team that was expected to win the conference to start the season. So I would imagine they'll probably have a little bit of bounce back in them later on, but still.
They say baseball is not a contact sport, but I just watched a guy slide into second base head first, put his basically forehead into the base, and his arm got stuck underneath him as he was sliding.
Yeah, not great. Oh, and now we're seeing a broadcast just completely fall apart.
Yeah, they're making sure his nose is okay right now. I'm not sure who it is.
It's Cody Clemens for the Minnesota Twins. It's American League Central baseball in the middle of the day, folks.
I mean, the Twins are just, is this might be the Royals home opener or something.
I am going to learn. It's their opening series, yeah, but I'm going to learn more about the Minnesota Twins this year than I'm ever wanting to learn about ever, because one of the YouTubers that I watch is doing a rebuild on the Twins.
So. A rebuild. Okay. They want Luis Arraez back? And they got rid of him and everything went downhill.
No, they did not. They do not want Luis Arraez back.
I went and tried to look at the pitchers that Fernando faced in the World Baseball Classic. It's not as easy as you would think to find this information. But what I can say about Fernando is he was incredible during it. And this thing is not sorting the way I want it to sort.
Yeah, welcome to that computer.
I shouldn't have done it on this, is what you're saying?
Welcome to that computer.
All right, he hit 400, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, 6 walks, 5 strikeouts, no stolen bases. His OPS was 1.238. So again, a lot of those stats came against pitchers that might not be major league pitchers. I also think the World Baseball Classic is a completely different beast when it comes to energy. Like, people keep saying, well, he should have rolled the World Baseball Classic energy over. And my thought is,
after he spent a week and a half back in Peoria.
Like, my thought is the World Baseball Classic is 2 weeks long. So to go high energy all in for 2 weeks, I could totally see that. These guys are about to embark on 5 months of baseball. And I'm not saying people are wrong for saying he needs more energy. I'm just saying, like, do you want to put a ton of energy into the first 6 games of the year? And again, he can't just, and he's not doing this. He can't just like stop playing, but it's a different guy. It's a different guy. And I don't know what it is other than the fact that he is playing for his country, which is very important to him. So I would like to see, as everybody would like to see, Fernando do what he did during the World Baseball Classic. So we'll have to hang in there. That's all we can really do, is hang in there. All right. Let's see. Oh, yeah. You know what I have? As Pittsburgh prepares to welcome the nation to the unofficial beginning of football season, the city's kickoff celebration will begin with an unforgettable invite-only night of music. Go to odyssey.com/the night before to enter for a chance to win a trip to see Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Prophet. This is a national contest. I've told the sports standoff is upon us.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
No, he's no good. Are you kidding me, Miss?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The midday sports standoff starts now.
All right. I'm excited to play this. I've heard it obviously a few times, and it's a fun game. I know the person I'm playing probably just wants to really beat me. So I'm a little nervous about that. But if that person beats me, they will be qualified for a chance to win the grand prize, a 2-night stay at Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, and a $150 resort credit. March is no longer here, but April is, and Fontainebleau, Las Vegas is the place to catch every game. High energy watch parties with expansive screens, great food and drinks, exclusive room rates, plus the pools and day club are open. Book your stay today at FontainebleauLasVegas.com now. Take it away, Frank.
We have Robert in Vista playing today. Robert, how are you doing, bud?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Pretty good.
All right, so we have a top 10 list for you today.
Is this our Chris vs. the Fans, Robert?
Yes.
I knew it. I got to get my game face on.
We have a top 10. We have a top 10 list for you today. According to BetMGM, going into the 2026 season, who were the top 10 best bullpens in Major League Baseball? Top 10 best bullpens going into the 2026 season in baseball by BetMGM. Robert, you have the first guess.
Oh, the Dodgers.
The Dodgers are number 4 on that list.
All right. I mean, I'm just going to go with the Padres.
Padres were number 2 on that list. Robert?
The Phillies.
Wow.
Phillies number 6 on the list.
What about the Yankees?
What about the Yankees?
Yankees. Oh, no.
Nope. We got Braden out of here. We might actually have a chance to win here. Robert?
How about the Guardians?
Cleveland Guardians are not on the list. Braden. Skraby.
That's okay. Foul.
Get foul on me, yes.
Let's go with the Cubs. All right.
The Cubbies are number 8 on the list. Robert?
How about the Astros?
Oh,
the Houston Astros are not on this list. A very good guess, though.
I know that this team spent a bunch of money in the offseason. The Orioles. No!
Both of you have 2 strikes, and you both have 2 answers correct. Robert?
The Blue Jays.
That's a good one. Oh, really?
No, Toronto is not there. Robert, that's your 3rd strike, but hold on.
Wow.
Because we have a tie right now. Skraby, go for it.
Trying to think of...
Stick the dagger at me.
Don't underestimate me to lose this game. I'm trying to think of good teams, good closers. Let's go with...
Skraby, if you get this one wrong, we're going back to Robert.
Okay.
It's the next one.
What about the Mariners?
Robert, he stuck the dagger in you, bud. I'm sorry.
Dagger! Robert, I appreciate you.
The Seattle Mariners are number 5 on the list. That gives Skraby the 3 after Robert's 3rd strike. How you feeling, bud?
I love it. I mean, I told you in the break, once I saw Robert on the line, I was like, Robert's a good player. He usually does well at Chris vs. the Fans, and I need to beat him because he will never let me live it down.
You want to take a guess at the rest of them?
I guess, could I say, it's not the Pirates. The Braves?
Braves are number 10 on the list. And I will also give you credit. Pirates are number 9.
Their bullpen?
Mm-hmm. Again, just according to BetMGM.
I don't even know who their closer is.
You have 1, 3, and 6.
One is still not taken. Who is a really good bullpen team?
Everyone that we yelled about, that how is this team's bullpen better than the Padres? They're off to a 5-1 start after all of that
Marlins?
complaining. The Marlins. No, not the Marlins.
They're off to a 5-1 start.
I know they're 5-1. It is a
5-1.
National League team, though.
We already said the Dodgers. Is it the Giants?
National League Central.
Reds?
The Reds are not 5-1, dude.
Oh, you're right. The Cardinals? Just give it to me.
The Brewers are number 1.
How can I forget about the Brewers?
And then 2 AL East teams. We've already said the Yankees. We've already, the Red Sox are number 6.
And we have another AL East team. We've already said the Blue Jays.
Also already said the Royals, the Orioles too.
We said the Orioles. Who is the other team left in the American League East?
Named after a fish.
Oh, the Rays?
The Rays have the 3rd best bullpen in baseball.
By the way, I don't think they're named after a fish. I think they're named after a ray, but it's okay.
Well, Ray is a fish.
They have the best one?
They have the 3rd best one. And
Oh.
can you please stop arguing with me on Rich Rodriguez Day, please?
I'm sorry, what?
It's Rich Rodriguez Day. Can you not?
Okay, I'll stop arguing. I'll start arguing.
For those of you who don't know the bit, remember how on January 7th it was Shohei Ohtani Day because his number was 17?
Yes.
So we are making fun of it all season long. Yesterday we missed it. Pardon us for missing Sterling Hitchcock Day and Robbie Erlin Day because they wore 41.
Okay.
The 4-1. Today, Jerry Turner, Rich Rodriguez wore 42 for the Padres, so on 4-2. Tomorrow, we're going to be missing Dave Dravecki and Andy Ashby Day.
Okay.
Tomorrow, which is unfortunate.
You guys are going to do this all
All
season
year
long?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many guys are...
I have enough.
The number of 55.
That is actually our special guest for the round table next week, Mark Grant.
He was 55?
Mark Grant. Happy Mark Grant Day on May 5th.
Oh, you're going to someone has to bring that up to him at some point. He seems like the type of guy who would love that.
It's a great bit. We decided to, take Major League Baseball's bit and throw it back in their face.
Well, I'm fine with that. Anything I can do to throw something back in Major League Baseball's face, I am okay with.
Unfortunately, we are going to be missing on Saturday, because Saturday's the 4th. We are going to be missing Joe Musgrove Day. We are also going to be missing Jake Peavy Day.
Oh, that's a big one.
It's also Willie McCovey Day.
That's a big one.
And it's also, I didn't realize he was a Padre until I saw this. It's John Kruk Day on Saturday. He wore 44 for the Padres. I did not know he was on the team.
Yes, he was. I knew this because of Tony Sr. played with him. And so Tony Gwynn Jr. has stories about him.
86 and 87. He was a Padre.
Yeah, I've been trying to get John Kruk on. I cannot reach him.
We tried to get him on last year, and
it's hard.
It was
I ran into so many different walls. But maybe one day, Tony needs, next time we play Phillies, Tony needs to go over there and say, Crucky. I know that Tony's jealous that Kruk has the car shield or whatever.
Yes.
Tony talked about, he's not actually jealous. I'm just joking. But he talked about that the other day, the car shield commercial. And I was like, I can't really envision it. And now I do nothing but see car shield commercials. They are everywhere. And all of the old players from back in the day are the spokespeople. I think Frank Thomas is a spokesperson.
Yeah.
John Kruk is a spokesperson. Well, all right. I'm sorry to upset you on Richie Rodriguez Day.
Let's not.
I won't do that anymore. All guests are brought to you by SDCCU. It's not big bank banking. It's better. Frank Marchese, Matt Skraby, broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, where we know how. We got one more hour to go. Let me just make sure Frank has nothing scheduled for this next one. You know what we're going to do, Frank? We're going to talk about prospects getting big contracts early because the Mariners did it. The Pirates are seemingly about to do it. So we'll talk about that when we get back here on 97.3 The Fan.
We still got some time.
What am I?
Man.
Oh, I'm so used to the 15. Our thing starts at 15.
No.
Wow, I just went on autopilot.
Yeah,
I was like, hey, see you,
bud.
Frank, I'm out. I'm out.
Off to the bathroom we go. We got we also had the Christian Campbell thing that we brought up earlier with Will Flemming. But yes, more coming up on the other side of this break.
Final hour of the Braden Surprenant show. I am Matt Skraby. Frank Marchese here with me in the Bill House Studios. We know how. I think we've had a decent show. I can't say I've performed the best, but Frank has performed awesome today.
Thank you, buddy.
We talked to the CEO of the California Legion earlier about their weekend that's coming up. We talked to Will Flemming, a Boston Red Sox broadcaster, and he gave us some pretty good insight on the Red Sox. And they have a guy on their team that fits into this next conversation that we're about to have. And it's about why some major league teams are willing to offer long-term deals to unproven prospects that haven't even played a major league game. So Colt Emerson is Mariners prospect, and he signed he signed for like $85 million.
It's an 8-year, $95
or
million
8-year, 95.
deal.
His guarantee in this. So this is before he ever steps foot on a major league field. His guarantee is $50.75 million. He is a 6th round pick, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even a 1st round pick. Last season, he had a 691 OPS at AA. So Mariners fans are kind of confused as to why the Mariners just gave this guy 8 years, $95 million. They bought out a minimum. I mean, this is why they do it. They buy out a minimum of 2 free agent years by doing this. And if they exercise a club option, according to the Athletic article, they can have buyout as much as 3 years of free agency. The additional control is going to be even more valuable if players in the next CBA can hit the open market sooner. So they're setting themselves up for the future. This isn't a common thing in baseball, but it is happening more and more. Connor Griffin of the Pirates, there's been talks about him getting a $100 million deal before he ever plays a game. And by the way, he is debuting tomorrow for the Pirates in their home opener. So the Padres will likely see him next week. If you don't know who Connor Griffin is, he's the prospect that is
number 1 prospect in baseball.
The prospect of all prospects. And then he came up to AAA. I think he had 5 hits or something. 3 of them were home runs. So they haven't given him the deal yet. There was we talked to the Red Sox guy earlier. Was
Christian Campbell.
Christian Campbell of the Red Sox. They gave him a bunch of money before he really even did anything, and now he doesn't even really have a position. So they're just stuck paying. So those are the 2 examples.
Well, and then also earlier this week, I completely blanked on this one. The Brewers gave Cooper Pratt 8 years and $50 million.
I did see that.
Cooper Pratt hasn't played yet, as far as I know.
I did see that. The reason I didn't bring it up is because honestly, not that much money for. I mean, $50 million is obviously still a lot of money.
But still, 8 years for a guy who hasn't touched a major league field yet. That's a lot of
risk.
I wouldn't even say risk. There's a word I'm searching for. It's a lot of belief in someone that has never played at that level before.
So immediately comes to mind that Jackson Merrill got a contract, but to me, he's a little bit different because he got his contract coming off of in my opinion, a rookie of the year season.
And that was on him too, because AJ Preller wanted to do this with him, but Jackson said no.
And so the reason that they want to do this is they want to lock these guys up early and they don't have to pay them. Number one, it's good for the player because the player gets paid, and it's also they can reach free agency and still get paid. So they have 2 big paydays. And for the team, they want to get these guys under contract. So if they do start their career on fire, that when they get to free agency or whatever, they don't have to pay them the max contract that they're going to pay them. I think that this is probably a good move for a baseball team. You just have to be very, very sure you're giving the right guy the money.
Well, and again, this is kind of like what we, some of us applauded the Braves for doing with Ronald Acuna and with like Spencer Strider and Ozzie Albies, locking these guys down early. This is kind of taking it to that next level, though. These kids have not played a major league game yet. and you're already locking them down on 8-year deals, which again is their 6 years of control plus 2. So that's kind of where this comes from. It's like buy low and lock in big value for the long term, but it's such a risk to do it with guys that have never seen a major league field before.
It totally is. Manny on the chat, I was just about to get to this. You read my mind, Manny. Evan Longoria kind of started this trend because 15 years ago, he signed an extension 6 days into his career, and that worked out pretty well for the Rays.
Yeah.
But there also are some guys you just know are going to be great. Corbin Carroll, also another guy who signed early.
Yes.
March 2023, he signed an 8-year, $111 million extension with a club option. So I'm not against this. I just don't want to see what the Red Sox did. Like, say the Padres did this, because I don't consider Jackson Merrill in this class, because Jackson Merrill has major league experience under him now. Mm-hmm. If they were to give him that contract before, obviously he's considered in that class. But we knew when they gave Jackson Merrill the contract that what they were investing in. We knew what kind of guy they were investing in. I don't want to be the Padres or the Red Sox where we think we found the guy, we give the guy a bunch of money, and then he's in AAA making millions of dollars. And that's what happened with, I keep forgetting the guy's name, Christian Campbell, right?
Yeah, Christian
Campbell. So I don't want to be that guy.
Well, on that, you're also seeing like guys like, and this article mentions Julio Rodriguez and Bobby Witt Jr., who signed long-term deals. Those are guys, again, that had time in the major leagues under their belt before getting to this point, before getting that contract. So I would put those two in the same conversation, kind of like as Jackson Merrill. Not quite a risk because you knew what you were getting, at least at the major league level, before you signed them. If you look at where this kind of thing goes wrong, the article brings up a guy like Scott Kingery, who let me pull up his
Scott Kingery.
Yes, let me.
Well, while you're doing that, I mean, everybody should go to The Athletic because they have a really great article about this. Unfortunately, it's by Ken Rosenthal, but you have to get past that in order to read it.
Everyone's favorite writer.
You know, I'm not going to say what I was about to say. We're going to move on.
Scott Kingery since 2020 played 145 games in his rookie year, hit 226. 2019 he played 126, hit 258. Since then, 2020 36 games, $159. 15 games in 21 at 053. Played 1 game in 2022, 19 games at $148 in 2025 with the Angels, and has played in an game for the Cubs this year and did not get a hit.
That seems like a waste of money then.
Yeah,
but he's still got time to go, right? It's still early, right, Frank?
And Kingery, let's go to the.
Let's go to Kingery.
The computer here.
Okay. All right.
Scott Kingery.
While you're doing that,
he signed with the Phillies a pre-arbitration extension, 6 years, $24 million. And then they finally got out from under that last year when he went to the Angels. And now he's at the Cubs.
See, 6 years, $24 million is a much easier investment than 8 years, $95 million. Yeah. Obviously. I mean, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal to me. But here's from Ken Rosenthal as to why the Mariners were willing to invest into Colt Emerson. The Mariners were willing to invest because they expect him to reach the majors at some point this season, making it likely under the current rules that he would become a free agent entering his age 27 campaign. His eventual position figures to be shortstop, and the up-the-middle defenders who are above-average hitters command huge dollars on the open market. Like the Brewers with Pratt, the Mariners are also betting on the person. Emerson's makeup is considered impeccable. There's a lot of guys that have been considered impeccable,
no kidding,
and they haven't been able to get through this. I think we'll see more of this for sure. And don't get it twisted. This is not the team helping the player. This is the team helping themselves.
Yes, 100%.
Because as a byproduct of it.
Is that official? What I just saw in the chat?
What?
Right there?
Oh, we're talking about this as it happens? I don't know. We're going to have to figure that one out. It's saying that another young guy signed, but the dollar amount is way higher than I've been reading it's been. So Frank's going to do a little research. But the byproduct of a team giving a guy a contract early is that guy now can hit free agency a little bit sooner. And so it makes sense for them. It also makes sense for the team. He's still reading. But we're going to see this more. I don't expect. And also Jackson Churio also got one of these, but he's also a guy who has been pretty good the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything from Passon. Let's go to Heyman.
John Heyman just tweets out arson judge.
Yes. Or as we on this show call him, arson fudge.
Okay, that's way too close to the heart. I don't see this either.
Cardinals are trying to extend JJ Weatherholt. That's a John Heyman report from earlier today. They're saying
31st. John Boy. Let's see if John Boy knows.
John Boy.
Because Connor Griffin is someone the Padres are going to see next week, and he's also one of the most highly touted prospects in a very, very, very long time.
Buster only has it.
Oh, okay, read it.
Oh, I'm going.
Oh, you got to go to Buster's?
Yeah, I'm not reading it off of.
How random. We're talking about these extensions, and then all of a sudden, apparently, we get one.
Yeah, Buster only. Connor Griffin's deal with the Pirates, 9 years, $140. They're still working on finalizing, so it's not done yet. There's still some work to be done, but Connor Griffin, 9 years, $140.
The one thing I have to say about that is, wow, that's a massive contract
for a guy who's never played in the major leagues.
But I think they've seen him at AAA. But 9 years, 140. What are the Pirates doing spending this much money? Like, they got to find a way to
trying to get
schemes.
They're trying to get salary cap compliant. That's what they're doing.
I know their whole
off salary floor compliant.
Their whole off season was spent appearing like they were trying, but they actually weren't trying. WLNUD on the chat was the one who gave us that information.
Yes.
It's not that we don't believe you. It's just that
we're not.
I have been duped before.
Yeah,
we're not something.
Yeah, we kind of have to be responsible with what we say on here.
I've learned that you cannot just say what happens, because then you have to go back on the air and say, actually, I'm sorry, I got everybody excited, but it's not true.
I'm sorry, but here I forgot one major part of this equation.
Oh, I'm just stupid.
Yeah. I forgot that I'm dumb. My bad.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. 9 years, $140 million. So let's think about that. I mean, I didn't even know the Pirates have that amount of money to give someone. I mean, they've been working on this for a while, and they're going to start a service time. Oh, here's another thing, Frank. They're going to start a service time. So they might as well.
Yeah, you may as well at this point,
because it helps them if they don't have to start his service time. If he's under contract and it buys out all of his arbitration, it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's all of his arbitration plus 3.
Imagine, this is from the chat. Imagine they gave Campusano one of those raises based on his AAA numbers. That's a great point.
It's the risk you run. And my question is now, what are they waiting on with Paul Skeens?
They realize they're not going to be able to afford Paul Skeens.
Then just get rid of him now. You've got your guy. You got your new face of the organization. Just bye-bye. Just stop. Don't waste his time anymore.
I agree with that, but I also think the Pirates know they can't sell tickets if they send Paul Skeens.
You just got your new guy.
You did, but you
just got your guy.
You need both. And Paul Skeens is probably going to be one of those $300 million pitcher guys. And Pirates definitely don't have that money. They got to sign Bubba Chandler.
Again, if they're trying to get salary floor compliant, you may as well go after it. You may as well just do it now.
I really don't know why, because you're saying salary floor compliant. I understand that, but it's not a part of the game yet.
No, it's not.
I really don't know why
you may as well get ahead of it. If you know it's coming, which from what we saw out of a lot of the smaller teams that don't spend payroll, they know it's coming. So they started the process this offseason to be able to get at least close to it, to where it's like, oh God, we have to spend like $100 million now in order to get this. It's a lot easier to spend $40 million than it is to spend $120. So you may as well get close to it now. So this way you don't have to overspend. This way you don't have to overspend to get compliant on guys that aren't worth $40 million.
I do understand that. I don't think the Pirates are that smart, though. The Pirates have never proven to be a team that thinks ahead. So
Paul Skeens' Dodger contract, 5 years, $500 million.
Oh, I'm seeing that. Eric says, I'm not ready for Paul Skeens to be a Dodger. Neither am I. You got to think they're running out of money at some point, right? No, they're printing money.
But again, that's the game. And a lot of it is, that's one thing I'm sure that these CBA's negotiations are going to try to pin down, is we can't just have one place where all of the stars of the game just compile on massively deferred contracts. That's got to be something that comes up, and there's got to be some sort of way that that deferred money gets counted into a salary cap, to where now the Dodgers can't spend money during an offseason because they have so much on their payroll already.
I don't think they care. I really honestly don't. I like they're making more money than a lot of big businesses out there.
Right.
Just as the team, because they have that entire Ohtani fan base.
Yep. They have their
Yamamoto fan base.
They have the Japanese market. They've also got that incredibly friendly television deal.
Incredible. That the Major League Baseball set up to help them for some reason.
Yeah, to help them because they were going bankrupt. But I mean, that's,
you know what I say to that? You cancel the deal once you start making money.
You would think that would be the logical thing. But I just, and this is kind of where the question leads to is this good for baseball long term, or does locking up your young stars make the sport less exciting in free agency?
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, no, it's not about free agency. It's about keeping these young players in smaller markets for a longer period of time, instead of the Pirates being the minor league system for every other team.
Yeah, I agree with that. It does like help teams to build around someone that people can cheer for, someone that people are going to be like, hey, I want to go to the ballpark today because Connor Griffin. And it helps us too, Frank, because then the big two teams, I mean, I guess I should only really say big one team of the Dodgers is going to sign up everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope Paul Skeens does not become a Dodger, but I'm pretty sure he's from California, and I'm pretty sure Livy Dunn has been trying to get him to be a LA guy for a while now.
She said she enjoyed San Diego.
Come on down. Come on down, Paul. We'll give you $300 million. I just
got a mouse in your pocket over there?
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
The mouse is gonna give him what, $299 million of that?
It's working right now. It's working on getting it right now, Frank.
Okay.
When we get back, we're going to talk about Matt Chapman, get Frank's opinion. I'll give my opinion on what he said to Casey Schmidt yesterday. We're not sure if we're going to do something in the last segment, but I could do the Padres good, middle, and bad that I did earlier. But we still got a couple segments to go here on the Braden Surprenant Show, 97.3 The Fan.
The San Diego Gulls just got hit with a big change, and it could shift everything. Nathan Gauthier has been called up to the Anaheim Ducks, and while that's great for development, it leaves a big hole in this San Diego Gulls lineup. And the timing, well, it's pretty tough because the Gulls are coming off back-to-back losses to Abbotsford, where they struggled with slow starts and played from behind all night. Now, yes, there are bright spots as Sasha Petrusov is on an absolute tear, leading the team in points and extending his streak again. Justin Bailey hit 20 goals, but here's the issue. This team is relying on late comebacks way too often, and without Gauthier, that margin for error gets even smaller. So the big question becomes, who steps up now? Because if nobody fills the gap, this could go from a bump in the road to a real problem as we approach playoff time in the AHL. So this is the big headline as we're going to start with the biggest news, and that's the roster movement. The Anaheim Ducks have recalled Nathan Gauthier from the San Diego Gulls, and Frank, this is a big one.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Gauthier was coming off of his best stretch of the season with 18 points over his last 21 games, plus the first hat trick of his career just recently. He has been one of San Diego's most reliable two-way forwards, and now he gets his shot at the NHL level. But the flip side is here, this leaves a very noticeable gap in this San Diego Gulls lineup, especially down the middle at the center position.
And we talked about the timing. The timing is not great for the San Diego Gulls as we get closer to playoff time, and a team that has been playing really good hockey. And they just had a tough series in Abbotsford. I mean, the Gulls ran into trouble on the road. They dropped both games to the Abbotsford Canucks, a 5-2 loss where they didn't score until late in the third. 5-3 loss despite multiple comeback pushes. This was a team chasing the game most of the time. They showed fight, no question, but the slow starts and defensive lapses were costly, and that has been a problem for the Gulls this season. They have dug themselves into holes, and yes, the comeback kids have made a lot of great comebacks, but you can't do that night in and night out and expect to win AHL hockey games.
No, you cannot. And you really, they have to find a way to start. They have to find a way to start a lot better, not just defensively, but offensively as well. You cannot be putting yourself into holes and not giving yourself some advantages to try to be able to maintain. And as you said, we've been doing these now for about 3 months, and this is every single time we discuss the San Diego Gulls. It's, well, they came back late, put up a fight, and still lost, or they won big. So while some of these signs are encouraging, these last couple of games against Abbotsford just have not been what you wanted to see out of the Gulls.
Now, you talked about the encouraging portions of these particular games. I mean, you've got some players that are playing very well. I mean, yeah. Sasha Petrusov is on a tear. Team leader with 51 points, which is a career high, currently on a 6-game point streak. Justin Bailey hit the 20-goal mark and is riding a 5-game point streak. And Tristan Luneau continues to produce from the blue line, now on a 4-game point streak. This team is still getting offense, but it's coming too late in games right now.
Yeah, it's got to come throughout the game. It's got to be less spurts and more just sustained pressure. Now, it's hard to be able to sustain that pressure throughout a 60-minute hockey game, but that's what shows the difference between players who play in the AHL and players like Gauthier who are going to go up to the NHL.
Yeah, and they got to do a lot better of not having to play from behind. I mean, the Gulls are becoming a team that starts slow, falls behind, tries to rally late, and while that worked during the comeback wins against Colorado, it's not sustainable. And at this level, if you're consistently and constantly chasing games, eventually it catches up to you, and that's exactly what happened against Abbotsford, and that is something you do not want to have right now in the season.
No, you're in a playoff push right now. You are in a playoff spot, but it's not locked, and you have a chance to be able to get a little bit further ahead in the postseason race. So yeah, this is not a recipe that's going to win you games in the regular season. It's not really a recipe that's going to win you a playoff position, and it's certainly not going to win you games in the AHL postseason in the fight for the Calder Cup.
Now the Gulls come home, and they have a key matchup against Tucson yet again, against the Roadrunners, and here's what matters. Life without Gauthier. Who steps into that role? First period urgency. Can they start faster? And defensive structure, too many goals against early. The next stretch is about adjustment. How do you see this team making the adjustments for this week?
They're really going to show what they're made of now without Gauthier. They're going to need to find somebody. Pastajov has looked like he's going to be that guy so far that can step up if given the reins, if given the proper opportunity. He's played very, very well, leading the Gulls in points. He's going to really have to be that guy who is going to
All right. Back here in the Bill House Studios where we know how. Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese here. I'm saying Marchese. Is it Marchese or Marchese?
It doesn't miss the same. I hear the same thing.
Right,
So
I'll move on. This is my problem.
This is my problem.
We just talked about Connor Griffin signing a 9-year, $140 million deal with the Pirates before he actually plays his first game with the Pirates, which will be tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to be debuting with the Pirates on their home opener. And so that means the Padres get to see Connor Griffin next week. And on Tuesday, if everything goes according to plan, Frank, we're going to get to see Nick Pivetta and Paul Skeens.
You were saying something about the Red Sox 2:10 Eastern time start.
Yeah.
You ready for this one?
What?
Pittsburgh's opening day starting time for tomorrow against Baltimore, 4:12 p.m.
Go look at all the Angel starts too. They're like 6:30.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, but like
4:12.
4:12.
Is Roberto Clemente's number 12 or something?
No, it was not.
That's weird. Like, what is the point of 4:12? Is that 4:12 Eastern?
4:12 Eastern.
So they're not even going with a day game. They're going with an afternoon game.
It's a twilight game, yeah.
A twilight game. Oh, that is weird. I know the Angels have really weird times as well. And I think it has to do probably with some sort of broadcasting where I don't know. 6:38 is weird though. 4:12 is weird. What?
They have to let the radio broadcast in the building by a certain time, I guess.
I guess.
Since they don't travel on the road with the team.
That is true still, right?
Yeah. They didn't
we're talking Angels, right?
Yes. They didn't do radio broadcasts last year. If I remember that correctly. They're doing it now this year, but again, they're not letting them travel with the team.
I'm sorry to you Angels fans. I mean, your owner says that you don't want to win. So that's your problem, is a guy who thinks you don't want to win, even though I'm sure all of them want to win.
To be fair. That was said in the context of when you go to a game, you're not really worried about the team winning. You're worried about your comfort. You're worried about the food. You're worried about other stuff there. Of course, you would like to see the team win, but when you are at the game and in-game experience, you're not focused on seeing the team win per se.
I'm going to see my team win. I'm not going for the experience.
I agree, but
All
that
right.
was the context in which Artie Moreno said that.
I don't care about the context. That guy just doesn't. He just doesn't know what people want. Like,
I agree.
Billionaires cannot tell us what we want because they are not us and we are not them.
By the way, speaking of billionaires telling us what we want City Connect uniforms.
Yeah. What do you have on that?
It was announced earlier today, a couple of hours ago, that the Padres are going to be unveiling the City Connect uniforms on the 9th before using them in-game on the 10th.
Okay.
So the City Connect 2.0 will drop on the 9th, which is next Thursday, a week from today, and then they will be used on Saturday night.
All right. So I wonder if this is going to be a new night thing. Like, because remember, City Connect was home
because
Fridays.
it was Friday, yeah.
So maybe they're just doing it for 1 week. Kevin Acey's newsletter, which I always tell people about. It's awesome. Go to subscribe to Kevin Acey's newsletter on the San Diego Union Tribune website. It gives you a ton of information. But he kind of confirmed that the pictures that were released were the pictures, or were at least very similar to the uniforms that we're going to be getting next week. So
to my response of, if you're one of those dudes who's leaking stuff, why you gotta ruin it?
For the click, man. Come on.
Who cares? No one cares about you. Do you remember the guy who leaked it?
Yeah,
exactly.
His name was Joe Cool.
Was that, if that is your real name?
It's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. No one knows who you are, dude. No one's going to remember you as the guy who leaked the uniform. Everyone's going to remember you as the jerk that leaked the uniform.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this either.
Stop leaking stuff.
You know, I have never been about doing things on social media for clicks. So, and I'm not saying that this person did anything wrong per se, although they did because they released the uniforms before they were supposed to.
They did the same thing with somebody. Did the same thing with Cincinnati. I saw another one that was leaked.
I think I would have I think
Baltimore.
If I'm walking through that room and I'm looking at all these new uniforms, I might start taking pictures of them, but I'm not releasing them. I don't need to do that.
No, I've taken plenty of pictures like from places where other people would not be going, and I've kept them to myself, and I've had no interest in sharing them.
It's almost more fun to just tell people inside your group than it is to tell everybody.
Exactly.
Because now you're the cool guy in your group. You got any more information? No. Okay. Well, then we're not friends anymore.
No, I know the same thing you do. Quite literally. I find out the news the same exact time you do.
Yeah. Sometimes that is the case.
Oh, yeah. No, April 10th is a Friday. Thank you.
W. Lund.
Oh, what? When did you do that?
What? What's going
Lund
on?
is we missed it. Lund is a new subscriber unless he just posted on the other thing.
I don't know.
He's a member. Thank you for being a member.
Adam Paul says, then don't pay attention if you don't want to know.
I'm not trying to find out.
It's not so black and white.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I'm scrolling through and all of a sudden I see the leak.
Exactly. All of a sudden it's there. It's like I wasn't looking for it.
Yeah. Once I heard it was out there, sure, I went and looked for it, but I wasn't someone who's like scouring the internet for it.
It was the first thing that popped up on my feed on the 20th time I opened Twitter that day.
You need to stop opening Twitter so much.
I do it during the breaks because I'm bored.
I pride myself on using social media less these days because I feel like
scroll on by.
Social media is bad. Scroll on by.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
No.
He draws the foul.
What do you mean scroll on by? It was the first thing that was on there.
But what he was saying is just move on and don't care, which I understand.
Too late. I already saw it.
I understand that.
Too late.
And Adam Paul is right in this way. I say this all the time to people who say, hey, Skraby, your show sucks. Hey, Skraby, you're stupid.
Thanks,
hey, Skraby,
bro.
I hate listening to you. I say, then don't. Like, I'm not in my car.
I appreciate
cursing at the radio because I hate someone so much.
I appreciate you listening and giving me the rating.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. I completely appreciate you doing that. But, sir, you do not have to, sir or ma'am, you do not have to listen to me. That is just not something that you absolutely 100% have to do. You know what I do, Frank? When I'm listening to something and I'm like, I don't like this, I change it and I move on with my day.
And if I'm wanting to not have something spoiled for me, like say there's a Formula One race that was in Japan last weekend that was on at like 11 o'clock at night. I'm not watching that live. I'm going to bed and I'm watching it the next day. I don't go on social media because I know my Twitter is going to be filled with people reacting to the race. So I'm not gonna go on social media if there's something that I don't want spoiled for me that could potentially be spoiled for me. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't expecting it, but boom, there it was.
It's true. Frank, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that happened to you.
No,
I'm sorry that you got it spoiled for you.
No, it's fine.
Will people please think of Frank next time before they send this out, because
thank you.
We can't spoil it for Mr. Frank.
Exactly.
All right. Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese, Casey, San Diego, #1 sports station. I'm just saying things at this point. We're filling in for Braden Surprenant. We have one more segment of the show, and I keep saying this Matt Chapman thing. We'll do that. We'll keep having fun, and then indeed, Gwen and Chris will be on at 2 p.m.
You'll be throwing it to your show instead of taking it.
Be like, hey, everybody, a mediocre show's coming up next. Just kidding. We'll be back shortly. 97.3 The Fan.
San Diego State baseball just showed you exactly who they are, and it's both exciting and a little frustrating at the same time. They lost Game 1 to Grand Canyon, giving up 4 home runs, and then turn around and win a 12-11 thriller where they survive 2 grand slams and get a clutch 3-run homer in the 9th from Tice Peterson. That's the definition of a roller coaster. They close the series with a 7-2 win, clean, efficient, and good pitching. That's the version of this team that can win consistently. But here's the question. Why don't we see that every game? Because when the pitching slips or they give up big innings, it puts too much pressure on the offense to bail them out. This team has talent, but if they want to contend in the Mountain West Conference and potentially make an NCAA tournament regional, they've got to find the consistency. It was a classic up and down week for San Diego State athletics, and the theme is very simple. They're competing, but not always finishing cleanly.
No, baseball wins a big conference series. Softball also showing elite offense, but dropping another series, and overall consistency for them. Just the biggest question is on the baseball side, taking 2 out of 3 from the Grand Canyon Lopes, but the way they did it tells you everything. Game 1, it was a 9-3 loss, gave up 4 home runs. Opponent hit 556 with 2 outs. That's big. That is a situational pitching struggle, plain and simple. Game 2, though, absolute chaos. Survived 2 Grand Canyon grand slams. Count them, 1, 2 grand slams. Tice Peterson delivered a 3-run homer in the 9th inning, a 12-11 win, and then a 7-2 win in a nice controlled game and a great outing from Alex Belardis. Sorry.
Yeah, they played smart small ball execution. They had squeeze bunts. They had situational hitting, which is all good to see. And the key to take away, of course, is there are 2 versions of this team. There's the disciplined pitching supported team that wins series, and then there's the lose mistake prone team that gives up big innings. Right now, they're 15-14 on the year. They're 4-2 in Mountain West Conference play. It's good, but it's not great. And until they eliminate those big innings, their ceiling stays limited in the first year of Kevin Vance as the head coach of Aztec baseball. Let's move on to the softball diamond. Offensive firepower, but they have the same problem. Another roller coaster weekend for San Diego State softball against New Mexico. They lost 9-4 in Game 1. They lost 7-4 in Game 2, and they won the finale 10-3. Caleb Pollard had one of the best weekends you'll ever see. That's a big positive for the softball team. Reached base in all 6 plate appearances in one game, hit for the cycle across the doubleheader, and delivered bases clearing triple in the finale. That's a pretty dominant weekend for Caleb Pollard.
Yeah, absolutely. An incredible way to look at it. Now, the same story as last week. The offense, explosive. Pitching and defense, a little inconsistent, a little up and down. Currently sitting at 19-15 on the season. They're 4-5 in the Mountain West. And the reality is they are good enough to score with anyone, but they're not consistent enough to be able to do it and control games from start to finish like you need to do.
Yeah, what matters more right now for San Diego State? Is it winning games or is it how they're winning them? Because baseball just won a series, but they gave up multiple home runs, big innings, nearly blew a game that they had won. And in softball, they show elite offensive flashes, but they keep dropping series. So, right now, how you're winning does matter, because if you're surviving games instead of controlling them, that's going to catch up with you in conference play. Later on in conference play, it's going to catch up with you as you try to find a place into an NCAA tournament regional. And the best teams limit those mistakes. They control tempo and they finish clean. San Diego State just isn't there yet on the baseball side of things. And for softball, they're playing a little bit better than what the results are, but eventually you do have to get the results. So both teams are kind of in a tough spot right now in terms of like a purgatory of monotony and mediocrity that they have the ability to get out of. And they will try to do that next, as baseball will take on Arizona State and take on the Sun Devils this week. And for softball later on this weekend, they'll be taking on Utah State to extend their Mountain West season. So update in baseball and softball, they have the ability to do it, but it's the lack of consistency that has hurt the Aztecs.
What a celebratory song to come into the last segment of the show. Is this something by design, Frank?
Oh, just a day full of bad decisions. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. No, I don't. But yeah, actually, I do. I actually do. Made a lot of bad decisions in my life.
No, has nothing to do with anything today. It was just the next one that came up in the thing.
Oh, well, it was a joyous bed for us to head into the last segment, and I appreciate that. I'm Matt Skraby. That's Frank Marchese. We are filling in for Braden. He will be back on Monday. Programming note, Frank and Braden do not have a show tomorrow because the Red Sox and Padres are going to be playing on opening day starting at 10 a.m. So no show for you guys. Gwen and Chris, we will have a show. We'll be doing a post-game show after tomorrow's game. And we're going to have Michael King, supposedly. I haven't seen that officially from the Padres yet, but I haven't checked in a couple hours. Michael King versus Sonny Gray. And then Saturday, Randy Vasquez versus Connolly Early. And then Sunday, Walker Buehler against Ronher Suarez. I mean, that's going to take a little time to adjust to, but if that's his name, that is his name. All right, let's see. I think what we should talk about now is something that I've been teasing basically all show and haven't gotten to yet. But yesterday, tough day for Casey Schmidt at first base for the Giants.
Well, it depends on the perspective.
For the Giants, it's a tough day. He's a former Aztec, so we kind of have to feel a little bad about it, but not too bad because they ended up winning the game because of it. But so Casey Schmidt has 2 balls that he can't handle at first base. I think both from Matt Chapman.
Phrasing.
Oh, so Matt Chapman, they have a mound visit. Matt Chapman is walking over towards Casey Schmidt, and you can read as clear as day. If you don't even need to be a lip reader.
You don't. You did not need John Boy for yesterday.
He said, "Catch the bleeping ball," and he said it twice. And this came up on the roundtable earlier, and Ben Higgins was really against it. I guess I wasn't so against it because sometimes some guys need certain motivations, maybe getting in his face. And I know it's not the friendliest looking thing in the world, but after the game, Matt Chapman said, "Hey, we talked about it. We're good." But what did you think, Frank? Because I did not have as big of a problem with it that other people did.
I didn't even see it live. I saw it after the game. I was too worried about looking at other things surrounding the game. But that to me is one of those. It was almost like almost like a private public moment. If you're doing something on the field, there's cameras there. Someone's going to pick something up and there's going to be an angle from somewhere that's going to catch what you're saying.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it like out on the field. Like he's at his position, Schmidt's at his, so he's just screaming and yelling. You don't do that. You don't show up your teammate in that way. Did it at a private mound visit off to the side. So that's why I say it's like kind of like a private public moment, because it was done in like the confines of a mound visit, but it was done on the field. So he knew not to show up his teammate by straight yelling at him on the field from his position.
Yeah.
But didn't know enough to not do it on the field where a camera was going to catch him.
I think he knew exactly what was going to happen. I don't think he cared at the moment.
No, in the moment, oh, for sure, no.
And I really think that Matt Chapman, like, it would be much worse to me if we saw them in the dugout getting into it, like after the inning. That seems much worse. But just a couple things to say to Casey Schmidt, maybe to get his head back in it. But a lot of people did not appreciate this. And I'm not really seeing I understand that it's not great. It's not like I wouldn't want Chris to yell at me and say that to me. But if I needed to catch the ball, then I would just be like, you're right.
I wouldn't want it. I would not have. To me, there's a difference between showing up your teammate. I don't think what he did was doing that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, no, he had at least enough presence of mind to not just scream it from his position.
Yeah.
That was more of a, hey, McFly, wake up,
McFly
kind of thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't like a criticism. That wasn't, to me, that just felt like a wake up, get your head in the game.
I agree.
That wasn't I'm gonna try to dress you down on the field in front of everyone.
Yeah. I think much
to do about nothing.
I also think that Giants fans are a little upset because their team started the way it did. And you know what? I came into the week feeling like, okay, the Giants are not playing great. The Padres can easily take 2 of 3 from them, but it went the other way.
Yeah, and that's what Braden was saying yesterday with the Red Sox. Red Sox are 1-5.
Mm-hmm.
You could say, hey, listen, they're not playing all that well. Giants weren't playing all that well either. It's not, it doesn't, that kind of good grace and good feeling doesn't feel like solace right now because you just had it.
Yeah.
And you've lost 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to flush it as they do. Nick Pivetta flushed it because Nick Pivetta had pretty bad opening day start. Yesterday, he went 5 innings. He only gave up 1 hit. He struck out 8, and he threw 70% fastballs yesterday. So that's a good thing for him because he's mainly like a fastball curveball guy.
Mm-hmm.
When his curveball's going well, he could throw basically any pitch. But I don't. Could we say that Ruben Niebla is the reason that Nick Pivetta is as good as he is? Because his career coming into being a Padre, it wasn't like over the top great. It wasn't bad either, but he was kind of, I can't say average, but maybe above average.
I think it's still a little too early to tell for this season.
Yeah.
1 year could be a fluke. I would want to see a little bit more out of this year, out of Nick Pivetta before I say, yeah, he's turned a corner.
I think that's somewhat fair. I don't know if we need the full year though, but he did.
Oh no, I don't think no. If he's pitching lights out in June, then yeah, he's turned the corner for sure.
Quickly, I'll do my Padres good, middle, and bad, and Frank, jump in when you would like. Padres good. Basically, what I'm doing was going back through the last 6 games and just picking out some major things. Padres good. That Jackson Merrill home run at bat on Tuesday night when he hit the 7-pitch 2-run homer, and it was in the 9th inning. Thought maybe, hey, the Padres are going to come back and win the game.
Might have a shot, yeah.
Ryan Walker, he closed the door, but the at bat was great. He fouled off some pitches. He took some pitches.
Really quick, Clay in the South Bay. I do not think Ruben Niebla is underappreciated. He got the loudest pop out of anyone, manager or player, on opening day. I don't think Ruben Niebla is underappreciated.
I think I understand why Clay maybe said that because maybe he's more important to the team than we really realize. But I do think that here in town, people understand how important Ruben Niebla is.
100%.
So we can never stop singing the praises of Ruben Niebla because he just seems to be able to get anyone into Major League pitching form. So Jackson Merrill, that was good yesterday. He scored from first after Casey Schmidt let one get away. So I love the base running there. Ramon Laureano cannot get a day off until they find someone else you can hit with some slug. Sorry about that, Ramon, but you're going to have to stay in. I think he likes it that way. Randy Vasquez has been pretty good in his 1 start. He won it, 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, walked 3, struck out 8. So we're excited about Randy Vasquez. David Morgan's been very good as well. 4 games, 5 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, no earned runs or anything like that. And I would also have to say, like, Mason Miller has been pretty good when he's been in there. Yesterday, he got the 4-out save, and then on Saturday, he got the save against the Tigers, so he's got 2 on the year. The Padres middle, and I had to make this category because Gavin Sheets would have been in the Padres bad section until the last 2 games, because going into Tuesday night's game against Logan Webb, Gavin Sheets was 0 for 10 with no walks and 5 Ks. And the last 2 games, he has 3 hits, 2 doubles, but after yesterday, he did some good things. So in back-to-back games. So something to build upon there, hopefully. I I'm not sure about Gavin Sheets and what he's going to provide this year. But if he could do what he did last year, 15 to 20 home runs, just keep the line moving, I think everything will be fine. Padres bad. Some of Craig Stammen's decisions have been a little bit interesting, some of the pitching moves. And I said this on the roundtable, but I feel like Craig Stammen, as a former professional pitcher, he may side with the pitcher a little bit too much in situations where he may need to take a guy out, because pitchers always think they can get every guy out. So maybe Craig Stammen needs to push down the inner pitcher in him and kind of think factually. And I understand he has reasons for, let's just use Kyle Hart as the example the other night when Kyle Hart was going pretty well, didn't give up any runs, and then his third inning was not great for him. And a lot of people pointed to the fact they could have went to another pitcher after Kyle Hart before he blew up, and maybe Craig Stammen had, he maybe listens to his inner pitcher a little bit too much. So he's going to have to figure that out. He's going to have to figure out when it's time to actually pull a guy out of the game.
And yesterday was also really interesting to me because we heard on Friday that they didn't pitch Mason Miller in that 8th inning because, we're trying to save arms.
Yes.
You bring him in the 8th inning yesterday, which, it became a high leverage situation in a close game. I understand. But coming off of what you said less than a week ago, and then it made it very confusing. And then you had the opportunity to take him out after the Padres hang 4 runs and make Mason sit for 20 minutes. You had Wandy Peralta warming up. You had the ability to go back and say, hey, we wanted it. We needed him for that big spot. We are trying to conserve him. So that's why we took him out in the 9th. You had the bailout there.
Yeah.
Braden's in a seat. I'm in the press box. When that 8th inning ends, I'm looking down to see if Mason Miller comes out. Braden is looking out at the dugout, at the bullpen, to see if Wandy Peralta comes out. He said Peralta came out. At the same time, Mason Miller was coming back out onto the mound. So I guess somebody told Wandy, come back. You're not in.
Or Mason said, I'm not coming out of this game.
Yeah. So you had two opportunities, and I know he's only had 1 outing. I know he needs work.
No, he has 2. Mason.
Yeah, going into
yesterday? Yeah, it was only 1.
Yeah, you only had 1 out. I understand he needs work. But you just said you don't want him to get a 4-out save because you're trying to save him. Then you have him throw a 4-out save. And then when you have a chance to bail out and say, yeah, we're still on that plan. We took him out after the lead increased. You didn't take it. You didn't take the bailout plan.
I brought this up yesterday.
Stay on message.
I brought this up yesterday. The explanation I was given by Mr. Ello was they're going to have a day off, and he hasn't pitched that much this week, so that's why they were okay with doing it.
That and Craig said that Craig said post game that if they would have gotten another run, he would have been out.
I'm fine with it. If Mason's fine with it, and he wants to pitch and he wants to get that saved, then that's fine. All right, great job, Frank. Thank you so much for putting together a great show.
Of course.
I am Matt Skraby in for Braden Surprenant. Up next, Gwen and Chris with Adam Klug as producer. Chris and I will talk to you after the game tomorrow. Have a good day.